And we're on a whole 30 seconds early. Hi, it's Tim from LoudMouthTim.com, home of online video, the longest running web series in the history of the internet. Here with our Republican cockatiel Beaker and our second in command bird, Bowie. How you doing there, baby Bo? He's my wife's bird. Beaker's more my sidekick. Okay, where's everybody at? Come on, I know I'm a little bit early here. I got on 30 seconds early. Now, here's the layout. Today I'm using my Dell Latitude E5570 laptop with my Logitech C920 webcam USB'd into it. So I can move around and go out in front of the TV. 3 people on. Hey, our record for any kind of a live stream is 17 people. So up there in the corner, up there in that corner, we want to get it over 17 to set a new all-time record of viewers on this, the LoudMouthTim live stream election night coverage of Donald Trump winning and Joe Biden losing. First of all, I am going to get my laptop, and I'm going to stand up, and I'm going to go on out in the living room. And baby Bo is hanging on my shorts here. Hey, buddy. And here's our Republican sidekick Beaker on my shoulder as always. You'll get to see some more of the house while we're doing it. I moved some stuff off the coffee table so I can put the laptop down. And what's this? Pennsylvania. Let's see. Okay, we got a long way to go in some states. All right, I gotta get used to this and figure out how it's gonna work. 5 people on. Hey, Bowser, how you doing? Ain't seen you for a long time. Oh yes, thank you for reminding me. Here is the link. So if anybody wants to come on with me, come on. Let me post it here. I don't have my mouse out here with me. I got to reach over and do everything with a laptop's touchpad. All right, here's the TV for tonight. A whole big 40 inches TV. Okay, there's the StreamYard link. I got to remember to watch the laptop screen now because I'm not usually nobody wants to come on. So I gotta figure out. I'm holding my tripod-mounted Logitech camera. This is all new for me here. I gotta think what I didn't really plan this out too well. I can put it in one place. Yeah, let me just put it on top of the laptop here and see how that looks. All right, that's good. Yeah. My problem is now I can't just watch the TV. I have to keep looking at the laptop. And we got the birdies here with us. Beaker up top, Bowie down here. How you doing? Oh, that's baby Bo. He is. How old are you? You're a little over a year old now, I think. A year and a half. Yeah. How you been, Bowser? I ain't seen you for a long time. Last I heard, you got booted off the Archie streams. I don't do live streams here very often. Yeah, but you can always, send me an email or something if you want to come on sometime. Usually when I'm doing my live streams that make my short episodes, I'll see people in the chat window here typing to me sometimes. Hey, who we got here? Let me get you on. Add to stream. Who's that? Is that Bowser? Where are you at? Yeah, it's B. You're not in LA, aren't you? Yeah, there you go. That's the right way to have your thing. Yeah, yeah. Well, wouldn't it be something if a ultra-liberal state like New York or California or Oregon or Washington voted for Trump? Imagine the liberal panic and just utter breakdown that they would have out there. All the millions of gay people just having a total bitch fit. I can't wait to see the YouTube videos of that. It's now been 4 years since Orange Man Bad won the first time, and I still really enjoy watching YouTube videos of the 2016 election. What are you doing, Bowie? Make up your mind. What you want to do? He's running all over the place. While my sidekick Beaker just kind of stays on my shoulder most of the time. Wow, okay, we got 8 people on, and I think right in Kanye 2020. Oh, Ayod Miskin. Hey, Ayod. This is your chance to finally see who was right and who was wrong. What really bothers me about this whole election thing is we have so many of these early voters. And I think for the most part, these early voters, they're the liberals who are mind-numbed by the liberal media and have been scared into voting. Oh, you left. Okay. They have been scared into voting early. And so we have we're really front-loaded with Democrat votes. And then just like in Pennsylvania 4 years ago, it started out with Hillary Clinton winning, but through the night, Trump kept catching up, and passing her in the long end of the track, so to speak. And I think a lot of states are going to be like that tonight. You got a huge surge of liberal votes up front, and as the Republicans, like me, who vote on election day like you're supposed to, vote and their votes are counted and they show up, then they're going to catch up, and we'll get the real numbers at that point. Cockatiel's gone wild. Bowie's running around chasing Beaker. Oh. Ayod Meskin. Hey, we're up to 10 viewers. Someone, come on, people, type in the chat there so I can see who's on. Clivers, are you on? Archie, are you on? Blue Shirt, Forbin, NV. Under the big names from the Archie Luxury streams. Come on in. Put in your 2 cents here. It's still on the screen, but I'll post the link again, just because. Oh, I have to hit the chat button then. Okay, there is the stream. Clicky the link, and then you can come on with me here. How are we doing so far? Let me see. I got like 7 different channels. I come on here a little while ago, and I looked at the TV to see which channels were going to be running the election. And for me, the one I think I like the best, what is this? Yeah, the MSNBC. That is the one that I saw a lot of videos of Trump's win in 2016 on MSNBC. And I'll be flipping through other channels too. We're up to 14 viewers. How can Ayod Miskin? How can anyone vote for Trump? Oh man. Okay, Bowie, hey, calm down, buddy. Here's the question I have: how can anyone vote for Biden? Biden can't recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Bowie. Oh, bird. I'm gonna have to get him in his room. How can anyone vote for Biden? Biden is losing his mind, number one. Biden is just plain wrong on most of what he says he wants to do, number two. And Biden is going to get declared incompetent within his first year or two. And with the 25th Amendment, they'll make that what's her name? Kamakama la 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 la, some goofy name, Harris will be made like the first vice president to get put in charge, the first black person, well, not the first black person, like the first black woman to be president, kind of like by default, because Biden lost his mind, and so they put her in charge. And then there's going to be a lot of backroom conversations if that happened, if Biden even got elected. Bowie! Quiet, please. Thank you. We're up to 16 viewers. They're going to take her in the back room and say, okay, listen here, kama la la la. You're going to be the president on paper. But we, all the people in the back room there, all the shadow government and people behind the scenes running things, we are going to tell you what to say, what to sign, and what to do. And if you don't, let us show you this video of the Kennedy assassination that was filmed from an angle no one else in the public has ever seen. And we have the tape because we knew it was going to happen. So you see what I'm saying here? All right. How we doing here? How's North Carolina doing? I'd like to give better numbers, but it's just way too early in the night. That's just so all over the place. Pittsburgh apparently is 69% going for Trump, but that's only 28% of the vote in. That's good. And it'll probably get better. Pittsburgh area, we got some more people on. Let me join us to the stream here. Anon, are you on twice? And Philadelphia area, if they go to Trump, Trump's got the rest of the state, no problem. That's exactly what happened last year. There's 67 counties in Pennsylvania, and I think Trump won 56 of them last time. So it's just too early. The numbers are just too early yet. Okay, hold on. Bowie, come on, buddy. What are you doing? Anyhow, what was I saying? Yeah, Biden is just plain wrong on pretty much everything that needs to happen. He's weak. He's incompetent. He's a liberal. China will just run all over him. And other countries are not going to respect him. They'll be offering him more his cash bribes through his crackhead son under the table and get in their way. So Biden would essentially undo the world as we know it. Now, Trump is not up there to be nice. He's the guy to get things done. And, he's the kind of person we need in charge, not the one to be friendly, one to be effective. So, keep Trump in, let him crack the whip and do things his way. And he is not beholden to anyone. And 4 more years of that. You heard in the second presidential debate, I think it was about 1 hour, 52 minutes into it, Biden came out and said he wanted to get rid of oil companies and cut off their subsidies. Well, I think over time, the amount of oil that is used will go down. It's never going to go to zero. Making the roads out of asphalt, petrochemical industry, a lot of things need oil just besides gasoline for your car. So oil will be reduced over time, but never eliminated. Trump's been doing good. You know what? The biggest problem Trump has is the House being democratically controlled with that Nancy Pelosi. She has gotten in his way and held things up too many times for too long. How are we doing here so far? I think, didn't Trump already win Virginia? Hillary Clinton won Virginia last time. And now, if Trump is going to get Virginia, that's already 13 electoral votes up over last time. Bowie, can you hear him on the on the chat? Can anyone hear the birds singing? I'm not sweating. I want to get better numbers. It's just too early. Alabama. Well, Trump is going to win Alabama. 4% in. Come on, man. Get more than that. We're at 12 viewers. Why do we only have 12 people watching? I posted it on the Archie Luxury channel multiplicapital times saying, hey, be on here at this time. Yes, Pennsylvania. Oh, let me tell you what happened this morning. I went to go vote this morning. I got to my local polling place right up the street at 7 o'clock, which was when they opened. I got there, and there were 70 people in line in front of me. 70. I stood outside in 37-degree weather for an hour before I could get in and put my vote in for Trump. I voted Republican for everything except for 2 state offices, which only had a Democrat running or a write-in. And I could not vote for a Democrat, so I wrote myself in for those 2 offices. How are we doing here? Virginia went for Biden? I don't think it's even declared yet. What's this say? Who do we got on? The gazillionaire. Where's Clivers? Where's NV? Where's a bunch of the other names I know so well from Archie Luxury's channel? Did Bowser leave? Okay, the bird finally calmed down here. Let's turn this around. Excuse me. I need my, how do you do this? Oh. Yeah. I see Archie do it all the time on his channel, but I never have occasion to do it on mine. There's the burbs.
In the state we've got early mail vote from. So just to give you a sense of what's left to come here, about 1.2 million votes to come. I drew attention to this.
Indiana projected winner Trump.
That sort of meter there of the same day votes getting bigger. And the other thing that's happening as that meter gets bigger.
I got enough room here in the cord.
This number right here, which represents Joe Biden's lead statewide, that is starting to fall. And again, we say because Biden doing so well with the early.
I love that. Look at North Carolina. That's what they just said. You know, a bunch of the libtards got out there and voted early, so Biden has his big numbers early. But as the night goes on, there's no more Democrats to vote for Biden. And he's going to run out of gas and be on the side of the road, and Trump's going to drive on past him. 11 people watching. Why only 11? Okay, who else is on here? Clivers is burning black neighborhoods in Tulsa. Okay. Let me repost it here. I don't know why, but I'll do it. Okay. Right click, paste, and then chat. Okay, how do I put this back to exit solo layout? Okay. And no, you're on here twice. How do I make this? Oh, I see. What? No, that's not what I wanted to do.
Forgive me. This is presidential Colorado. 9 electoral votes.
That's not what I wanted.
Take back what I said about a flip. Steve, back to you at the board.
Kind of.
First blue state west of the Mississippi.
Whatever.
For the Democrats on the road to 270. And again, electoral votes awarded projections thus for 89.
Okay, close enough. Okay, Trump's got a bunch of states already. Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Louisiana, South Carolina will go to Trump. Florida, almost certainly. Pennsylvania, probably.
Oh. If he wins all 3 of those and Trump isn't flipping any blue states, that's going to put Biden over 270. We also said those are the states that are going to take the longest. We were just in Pennsylvania, and you see what a confusing mishmash Pennsylvania is. So we talked about Florida at the start of the night, Georgia at the start of the night, North Carolina at the start of the night, Ohio, and Texas at the start of the night. These are states, these are opportunities, we said, for Democrats to really put Trump on the ropes by putting a win on the board. You've seen the direction Florida is taking for Democrats right now. And they say they are not encouraged by what's going on in Florida.
All right. What are you guys doing? Burb's gone wild. They're all hyper to see Trump win.
Continues to dwindle for Joe Biden. You know, in Georgia, again, looking at, we want to see the Atlanta metro area there. Democrats are going to have to do this. Is a lot like we were talking about in Texas. It's not enough for Democrats.
Come on, people. You got to type in the live stream chat there so I can respond to you. I don't think I'm losing Ohio there, gazillionaire. Takes time for all the votes to get in.
Really a burden on Biden to do even better than Stacey Abrams did in places like the Atlanta metro area. Otherwise, they won't get Georgia. And then Texas, again, you're seeing Democrats, they're certainly outperforming Hillary Clinton in those metro areas. But are they outperforming?
Anon, are you on twice? Ayad Meskin. Take it from me, I'm European. No one here respects the USA with Trump as president. William, the gazillionaire, it's still on the map. Ohio, yeah, it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. I'd like to have better answers now, but it's just too, I thought by 9 o'clock, I knew, you know, it's going to be a while before you have any real answers, but it's going to take a while. Oh. Trump won Ohio by about 9% last time around. Some of these counties in Ohio right now, you're looking primarily at early vote. Some of them you're looking more at same-day vote. It's not a totally consistent pattern. So I can tell you, what we're trying to do right now in Ohio is figure out what is the trend for the early, and really what is the trend for the same-day vote. Hey, Odd Meskin. Didn't know you liked Henry D. Toulouse-Lautrec art, Tim? The Jane Averill and okay, let me tell you something about this living room. Nothing in this living room is mine. It's all my wife's. These are posters that she had at her mother's house when her mom died. A lot of this stuff came to us. There's a couple of posters there. There's a couple back there.
Again, a matching Dakota has been projected for Donald Trump again as expected.
I do not like pumpkin spice. I don't like pumpkin anything.
That bit of red in the northern plains.
So everything in here, the furniture, the decorations, is nothing in here is mine. Well, I paid for the TV, but nothing is mine. Now, there's a pillow from Martha's Vineyard.
So we're going to take a quick break now. When we come back, we're going to talk about that Colorado Senate seat. We're going to talk about that hard-fought North Carolina Senate seat where Tom Tillis is trying to fend off a challenge from Democrat Cal Cunningham. We're going to take a look at the balance of the
How you doing, Beaker?
We continue to watch some of these swing state votes.
Yeah, those posters were all by Henry D. Yeah, well, I don't know what that means. Is that good or is that bad? I mean, he's some. I don't know anything about him. Is he some kind of artist or something? I was not consulted. I got the. Oh yeah, that dresser, that $500 dresser that I had to assemble. In the middle there, it's got the. Let me go turn it on for you. It's got one of those fire effect things on it. And the other switch there, it's a 1400 watt heater, which I don't really look forward to using. My wife ordered the dresser. I got to build it, put everything on it. I was totally happy with the old TV stand. It held the TV up. It was doing its job. I was single for far too many years. All the games over there, and the movies and stuff for my wife's. The lamps came from her father's desk. We have to keep the mirror covered because once the birds see their reflection in the mirror, they'll sing like crazy. Here's the pictures again. Yeah, those are all mirrors on the doors. Those doors open up, and they're all mirrored. I'll have to look up this Henry D. Toulouse-Lautrec. I never gave it any thought, really. Okay, Anon. Biden defeated, Trump defeated. Hail to our new commander-in-chief, Kanye West. Hey, alumni quad, thanks for coming on. How you doing? Why are we down to 6 people viewing? We should have about 40 or 50 right now. What did Hillary Clinton say? Why aren't I 50 points ahead? I'd probably get the same answer here. Okay, Anon. I need some more entertainment on your side here. How can I? There's a variety of. See, it says split in half, but it's not split in half. That's the best I can get. Was your wife's mother a French languages teacher? No, she was not. I don't know anything about their artistic stuff they had in their house. She had a whole bunch of stuff in the house, and different. My wife's sisters got different things and split it all up amongst the 3 of them. You probably can't see it too well. There's her photo. See that little light there? That little light on the table? It's an LED light with colored plastic things inside the bulb. I got that for Christmas last year. That makes nice colors. They don't change or move around or anything. Here are the burbs. Hello, burbs. Oh, they're being nice and quiet now. So if those posters are all French, see, I don't know. Moulin Rouge, Devon Japanese, Artistide Bruant, and Jane Avril are the 4 pictures, or I don't even know, pictures or paintings or what. Oh, okay. How are we doing here? Alabama goes to Trump. Ablahama. Ablahama. Alabama.
Let's go to Senate. Colorado. Sorry, here is.
Oh, Colorado. Bunch of pot-smoking liberals in Colorado. Well, that don't surprise me. We gotta get AOC and Nancy Pelosi out, but the Democrats love a retard who will just be insane with their liberal choices. I don't know what that says, alumni quad there. People with a connection to France. Okay. Only Francophiles have those posters in their homes. Well, I've never heard any real reference to anything French or European or what. I don't know when they got them or where, but they were in my wife's mother's house when we first got married. So 2014, and who knows how long they had them before then. Probably decades. 8 people on. Where's the rest? Where's Clivers? Okay, I'm going to put up the link again.
Ed Mackey up in Massachusetts. Turns out his biggest challenge was a Democrat named Kennedy. New Hampshire. Shaheen's going back to the Senate.
There's the link. If anyone wants to join Anon, I'm going to put you in the background because this is just not entertaining enough here, what you're doing. Oh, I didn't mean to kick you all the way there, Anon. I thought doing it one time would take off one of your two things. So if you want to rejoin one, you can. But whatever. Okay, we're at 10 people. All right, 30 minutes. How? We gotta have a Republican House. We gotta have a Republican Senate, and we gotta have Trump for 4 more years. Now that is how things are going to get done. What do you think, Bud Daston? Bud the Stud, how you doing there? What do you think, guys? You think it's as close as they're saying? Well, at this point in the night, people are really just guessing. It's just too soon to tell. Not enough votes are in pretty much every state. Even some of the ones I've seen here where they were projecting a state going to Trump or Biden, it's like with less than 50% of the vote. Here, Ayod Meskin, you can tell me what some of this stuff is here. What is this? What is this round thing there under the thing? I don't know what that is supposed to be. Flowers and stuff. You see in the corner down there? A little Pac-Man video game. You could play it at home, play Pac-Man. I had one of those when I was, back in the 80s. I had one of those for Pac-Man, and I had one for Donkey Kong. And I'd play them a lot. And once the batteries would get too low, you go turn on, and they would just blink like bleep, 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 bleep. Oh, gotta change the batteries. How are we doing here? We're 9 people watching. We briefly popped up to 17 and we're back to 9. Bud the Stud. Ayod Meskin, Alumni Quad. Maine Senate. I mean, what are these liberals thinking? Tell me about the mind. Hey, you know what? Do we have any ultra libs here watching? Come on the channel here. Hit the link there. Take me into the mind of a liberal. I don't think it's accurate to say people are idiots just because they're liberals. You can still be an intelligent person, but your mind's all screwed up. What are you thinking as a liberal? Do you think these politicians care about you? They don't. They care about you long enough to get your vote and then go sit down and shut up for 4 more years until I need you again. Then they'll come around and they'll kiss your butt long enough to get their vote again, and that's it. People thought, oh, what's this? South Carolina going to Donald Trump. No surprise, but
speaking of the Senate, the drama in South Carolina was not expected to be
South Carolina. Yeah, well, I expect that it's down south. You liberals. Oh, boy. You think politicians care about you? Like everyone, when Hillary Clinton was trying to get elected here 4 years ago, everyone's like, oh, she cares about us. She'll do things for us. No, she won't. She'll be doing things for all the corporations that paid her $600,000 speaking fees to come to their little meetings and whatever they had. Yeah, you're right, Bud the Stud. A lot of liberals were scared by what they saw on the news, saying, "Oh, you can't go up and vote in person because of the Chung flu. So you got to vote by mail and vote early." You know what I saw some news reports about this after the second debate. Bowie, please don't start again. Bowie. Yeah, I know, thank you, but yeah. After the second presidential debate, and Biden blew it by telling what he would do to the oil companies, the next day or two after that, I saw reports, people were searching the term, how do I change my vote? And that was part of the trick. The liberals wanted people to vote as early as they could before that second debate, because they might change their minds in that second debate. It's all been a big trick, and every liberal that voted by mail early got tricked in the process. Okay, birds. People like me, Republicans, on the other hand, we were not fooled. We were not scared. We were not intimidated. We stood in line and voted the way you're supposed to vote. Oh, too early to call. Georgia. Trump is winning 57% to 41%, with 40% of the vote in. No surprise. If anyone wants to join the chat with me, get on the camera with me. Come on and do it. I'm here. I'm sitting here by myself. Okay, I'm gonna put my leg up on the couch here a little bit. My wife ought to be coming home soon. I told her, hey, I'm gonna be on the stream here. How are we doing? I have the laptop running on battery power, and it's streaming wirelessly to my router, which is right over there. Just there at the camera. On this, the LoudMouthTim election night live stream coverage to see Trump win and Biden lose. I'm gonna bring this in closer. There we go. I never look right. I never look in the right direction. I always turn this the wrong way. How are we doing here? 11 on. Who wants to come on? Join me on the live stream, people. Archie, where are you at? Why don't you come and join us too? We ain't going to talk about watches on here tonight. Oh, I missed seeing it. What was that? Something about the whole House and Senate. North Carolina, 80. Well, okay, we're not going to talk about that one there. North Carolina is pretty close with 80% in. This whole thing, you know what? Another thing I don't like about this whole voting by mail thing, the rule should have been, pick a number, like say a week before the election. Your votes have to be in, not mailed, in, received at the polling place in your state. Maybe 4 days, 5 days, whatever number of days before election day. And if you didn't mail your thing out early enough to get it in by that date, too bad. Your vote don't count. But all of the mail-in votes should have been received a couple days ahead of today, and then they could be counted and all ready to go for election day, so that by the time election day, this day, is over, we have a pretty accurate number. A few more votes here and there might, come in like from legitimate absentee ballots, but everyone who's doing this they got scared into voting early before the second debate. If you mailed in your vote like that, no, you can get in too late, too bad, your problem. And that's what these liberals will do. Oh, well, people need a month to get down to the post office and mail their thing in. Ooh, yeah. Okay, come on. We need the House, we need the Senate, and we need the White House to get things done. Wisconsin, only 3% in, but Trump is winning with 64%. Man, it's like 5,000 votes. Come on. Oh, Trump's doing way better. Well, that's not even an accurate number. We're early. We're at 12 people watching. Anyone feel like typing a comment? Come on. You got me carrying this whole thing by myself here. Waukesha. I'm going to put the camera on the floor here for a couple of minutes. Cockatiel's gone wild. Hello, burbs. What you doing there, burb? Loudmouth is the king of election luxury. Yeah, you're right. Bud the stud. These are so-called bitch votes. Yeah, the early votes, they shouldn't count half them. Yeah, they're mostly Democrat votes. Alabama, 16% in. Projected winner Trump with 57%. William, it's a long line at USPS. Yeah, it's a little bit late now to be mailing your vote in. What are the, what are these idiots thinking? Oh, it's the day before the election. I haven't mailed my letter in yet. Why? If you can't get things done a little sooner than this, then you don't deserve to have your vote counted. Go stand in line, and vote like you're supposed to. What do we have? Almost 100 million votes were cast before Election Day. That's just too much opportunity for corruption and a lot of Trump votes to get quote-unquote lost in the process. Yeah, you're right, Bud the Stud. Pennsylvania should know darn well that Biden is not going to support them. So the whole oil industry, fracking, energy, in Pennsylvania and really Ohio too, as a major thing around here. Shell is making a new petrochemical cracker plant about 30 miles northwest of Pittsburgh. It's under construction now. So, and Trump got it happening. So I don't know how Pennsylvania could go to Biden. I don't know how enough people in Pennsylvania could vote for Biden. Especially after that second debate, when he said he wanted to get rid of the oil industry, stop, and he changed his mind a couple of times on fracking. First it was all fracking, then it was only new fracking, then it was only fracking on federal land. Yeah. What was that? One of these Saturday Night Live shows with Jim Carrey playing as Biden. He said, fracking depends what state I'm in. That's my position on fracking in this state or that state. What do we have coming up here? MSNBC. Decision 2020. What a year it's been, huh? Got the Chung flu has been the main thing all year, really setting things crazy. What do we got here? Check me off. It's Philly that is pumping out the bogus ballots. Yep. A lot of dead people voting. A lot of people who no longer live in the state voting. A lot of people who aren't qualified to vote voting. Does anyone hear the birds? Where are we at? We're at 12 people watching. 42 minutes into this show already. Yeah, commercials. I'm going to flip the channel on TV. Let's see what else I could find. Channel 100. What is that? Get this thing off the screen. CNN, the Clinton News Network. Pence, 16% in. Ohio, pretty much tied. 117. Fox Business. That's an awfully bad move for the market because they have the potential. Trump wins Kansas, Louisiana, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota. We're showing Biden 129, Trump 100. That's an awful lot of electoral votes to be declared already in. On the whole, though, I think President Trump is strongly showing. What are you Democrats thinking, even voting for this idiot Biden? Do you really think he has your best interest in mind? I won't go so far as to say Democrats are idiots, but they do idiotic things. I don't like Trump. He doesn't bring people together. Yeah, but he gets things done. You can't be nice and effective at the same time. You think China's going to respond to nice? No, they ain't. No, don't change. Fox, it all goes bad. 13 people watching. Who are the 13? Everyone type something in the chat channel all at once here. Let me see how fast we can scroll the thing up. Hey, 1, 2, 3. Thanks, Lance Link. That's the biggest jump I've seen in the chat channel so far. Jack me off 4, Lance Link, LOL. Alright, let me sit up here. Don't lose the remote. What is this?
That could be a really pivotal moment of the night. It would be a big win for President Trump, holding on to one of those states that was thought to be very vulnerable, and it would be a seat that the Democrats were really
Trump is trumping around. What was that Bobby Brown song? Trumping around, something around, something around. I forget it. It was on Beavis and Butthead a long time ago. We need to get Republican everythings.
It certainly would be, and the conundrum, of course, is this president has coattails. The problem has been that
Bud the Stud. Need my South Florida peeps to come in strong here. Come, Florida, be strong. Yeah. Check me off. Trump's got Florida. The Panhandle will push him through, as will all of the suburban and rural counties in Pennsylvania. Their votes will take hours to come in. In 2016, it was around 2:30 or 2:45 a.m. before Pennsylvania was called for Donald Trump, and he had been leading for over an hour at that time.
Tillis should be winning this race. Cunningham has huge burdens, a personal scandal, and the president had history on his side. It's going to be. Very right. I think in North Carolina.
Hey, I know what I can do for you. How about a little musical entertainment? I need to get up for just a second here. I'll be right back. You're gonna love this.
Almost every time we put up these stakes when they start, he's behind in part because of early voting.
Now, entertainment is about to happen here. Let me turn down the TV. Okay. This is our xylophone. We play little songs on it for the birds once in a while. And here are a couple of songs that come with it. And I printed this out from a store that had it. I had to find it somehow. I forget how I did it. But I'm going to play for you 3 little songs here that I play for the birds. And you can, identify. Donald J. Trump. I'll put you on here in just a minute here. I have to have I'll be able to see the screen. No, we're getting good now. Here's the entertainment. This xylophone isn't very good. The whatever is separating the wood from the metal things doesn't do it very well. You gotta hit it and get the hammer up again right away. What are we saying here? At least I'm wearing pants. Yeah, I'm not Archie Luxury. Okay. Play that. You know the thing. Okay. No, that was Mary Had a Little Lamb. Okay, here's one more song for you out of 3. Do I have to tell you what that one was? All right. Here is my favorite one of the bunch. Making xylophones great again. Hey, birds. Trump's gonna win, Biden's gonna lose, liberals will cry all night long. And Archie never had a xylophone on his show. Play Darude Sandstorm. Smoke in the water. Yeah. Or your boat. Yeah, Ayod Meskin, you're right. The last one was Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. An angle. Hey, what else would you be doing if you weren't here doing this, right? Okay, Donald J. Trump. Let me add you to the stream there so you can have your thing on. How does this have only 13 viewers? Yeah, I know, man. I announced it on Archie's channel. I've been typing the thing. They have roughly, on the average, 200 people over there watching. Why do I have 13 over here? Like Hillary Clinton said, why aren't I 50 votes ahead or 50 points ahead or whatever it was? Hold on. I'm going to go put this away. What else can I do for you here? Okay. I'm thinking of a number from 1 to 10. Type in your guess. Oh boy. No. Birds. Okay, yeah, here. We'll look at the birds. Ayod, no, sorry. Lance, I said 1 to 10. Here's Beaker. And in the back there is Bowie. What you doing there, Bowie? Cockatiel. Nobody's guessed the number so far. Keep on trying. Oh, 2 birds. No. What numbers haven't you picked yet? They're both males. I know that doesn't mean much in this century and decade, but no, they're not gay. Moments away, polls close in Iowa, Montana, Nevada, and Utah. Louisiana, Trump winning with 60%, with 26% of the vote in. Georgia, well, that's a Senate vote there. I don't know about Senate votes. Yeah, Ayod Meskin, you got it right. My number was 6. So you win nothing. So a good shot there. 2 men in this race. Yeah. Oh, hey, did I tell you about this? The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette this past Saturday endorsed Trump for president. Their first Republican endorsement since 1972. And they made it a point, forget it for a moment, Trump's goods and bads and Biden's goods and bads. What about the vice president? Trump and Biden are both pretty old. Trump's doing okay. Biden is about to fall off his rocking chair or whatever. But if the VP had to take over, you got Mike Pence, who's been working with Trump for years, and he can handle things. Or you got this ultra-libtard, Kamala, whatever her ethnic, whatever goofball name is, who is an ultra-liberal, who has no experience, who will make all the wrong choices. Dick Mangler. Sup, Tim? Great show. It's better than nothing. Better than talking about watches on. You used to have mashed potato arms. I've lost weight. Since the summertime, I've lost 22 or so pounds. Let's go weigh myself. Hey. Let's do that. I'll do that with you, sir. We'll take the camera and the laptop back in my room for a minute. What am I saying that for? I don't know. I can't hold the camera and get an accurate weight. Now here's my scale. And put this down for a moment. Make it on here. Well, I've been drinking and eating today too, so this is gonna take that into account. Oh wow. That's with I've already eaten this evening and during the day. I drank about 2.5 pounds of water here in the last couple hours. Well, let's kind of show you. Meh Magazine. What underachievers read. My wife's mom made that. It was given to me after she died. I like that. I just like that design. And of course my Pac-Man thing. No, it doesn't say cat skill. Oh. Dead ringer for Pierce Brosnan. Oh, jeez. Hold on a second here. I'm not Irish or Italian. My dad's parents were Slovak. So half right there. And my mom was half Hungarian and half Polish. So I can tell Polak jokes, and it's okay. Speaking of which, here's one. A friend of mine told me this way back in the 80s. How do you get a one-armed Polak out of a tree? You wave to him. Another one I heard a long time ago. How do you keep a Polak in suspense? That's the whole joke. Well, how you tell? You see, that's how you do. That's how it works. Okay. We were at 11 people viewing. 57 minutes in. How's my laptop battery doing? It's doing okay. How are we doing here? Trump wins Arkansas, Indiana, West Virginia, Kentucky, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Missouri, Oklahoma. Oklahoma, homa. Oklahoma, homa, homa. Well, let me change the channel here. I haven't changed the channel in a while. Let's go back to MSNBC. Oh, come on. What do we got here? Crucial battlegrounds up for grabs. Georgia, 49% in. Trump winning with 56%. Hey, Miskin, you're going to lose Georgia. Well, Biden's going to lose Georgia. Let me move this over. Got to put it right there. Up above the... I can't point in the right direction. Up there. Those are little ghosts. Our lighted ghosts above the doorway are. One remaining Halloween decoration that's still up. Thanks, Ayod. Well, half anyhow from my dad's side. U.S. Georgia boys know how to get Trump over. Yeah. I'm going to post the link again. Anybody wants to come on and give their 2 cents and speak, come on. And I need more subscribers on my channel. I've been hovering right around 200 for a couple of months now. What are you doing, Bowie? Oh, he's trying to balance on top of the ball. Huh. Well, just keep the camera up there a little bit there, Dick Mangler. Where's Clive? Why isn't he on? FCTT. This isn't looking great for Biden. It's still too up in the air, but later on it's not going to look good for Biden. Or 14 people watching. Hello. Thank you for being on. What are you doing, Bowie? Oh, bird. Hey, Beaker. Oh. Oh, what's this? Oh. Next poll closings in Iowa, Montana, Nevada, and Utah.
Developing news here at the top of this next hour, exactly to Robert Gibbs' point. It's early at 10 p.m. in the East, but those are the states closing at this hour. And so in we go. In Iowa, too early to call.
Well, what kind of a projection is that?
Too early to call.
Yeah.
In Utah.
Too early. So what are you telling us for?
In Montana.
Too early to call. Yeah, the whole 3 votes.
Go back through some battlegrounds. In Florida. Too close to call.
Florida, Trump is winning. 93% in. 93% of Florida's in. Trump's winning. I wasn't paying attention there. What was that? Pennsylvania, Trump's winning. Ohio, Trump is winning.
Michigan. Too early to call.
Trump is winning Michigan.
Too early to call.
Georgia, Trump is winning.
Too early to call.
North Carolina, well, Trump's almost winning. Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Wisconsin. You figuring out a trend here?
Wisconsin, Trump is winning.
Minnesota. Too early to call.
Whoa.
New Hampshire.
Whoa.
Too early, but
A lot of liberals in Minnesota.
as our decision desk sees it. Here's the map to 270. This is how the colors lay out across the country. You see the outlier, Colorado. On the Senate side, of course,
hey.
on the Democrats. Let's talk about Senate races.
Somebody on a live stream was commenting about how your pictures here are from France.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so I never knew.
Yeah, I said that in the beginning. I said there's Toulouse-Lautrec. He was a French artist.
Oh. Toulouse-Lautrec is a French artist. Well, there you go. We have a guy on here from Europe, and he knew that kind of stuff.
He was actually a dwarf.
Oh, a dwarf, too. Wow. Arkansas, projected winner Donald Trump.
What did you say about Michigan?
There's a lot of liberals in Michigan.
Yeah, no, they said that that's probably going to go to.
Michigan is major automotive manufacturing. That should be for Trump for sure. What state is that? North Carolina is tied up pretty good. Man, North Carolina should be more for Trump. Yeah. Cenk Uygur, yeah. I was looking at that. It says here, this Lautrec was a dwarf with syphilis, he says. I don't know if that's true or not. That's what he said. We got more than half in here, continuing to be a 13-point gap. There's going to be monster numbers here from the Atlanta metro area. That brings us of those 5 states we highlighted at the beginning of the night. That brings us to Ohio, and there you go. You can now see that Donald Trump has taken the lead in Ohio. 130,000 votes. Let me just take a look here. Trump leading Ohio.
2 million. We've got a lot of same-day vote that has come in here. I think there are a lot of places. We were just looking at this off air. You know, we are seeing again significant gaps here in these counties between the votes that were cast ahead of time and the votes that were cast today. I think there are a lot of votes that were cast today.
I got 16 people on right now. Hello, my wife says hello to the 16 people watching.
Looking at earlier a little bit because of the same day vote. Here you go, Delaware County. This is a good example too. They're basically all done in Delaware County. We highlighted this at the beginning of the night. This is a very good example, I think, because this is suburban and urban.
Sound is gone? Oh.
Oh, you guys all excited too, huh?
Trump got 56.
It's your first presidential election, Bowie.
Okay, let me check it on here. It says my sound is out.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I got no sound. All right. Okay, is that better? Do you hear me now? Am I coming through at all with the sound? Is that working? I'll make sure my sound's cranked up here. I didn't hit anything. My speakers are on 42%. Okay. Okay, I'm putting the sound back. Okay, how we doing here? We got sound again now? Okay, good. Okay. Okay, Ayod Meskin, it's all your fault then. You're the one that got no sound. You bumped something on your side. You spun down your controller knob for your sound or something like that. How are we doing here? Maryland. Well, I'm like 4% in. Thank you, Lance. Oh. How was the whole thing with you know who?
Lori?
Yeah.
Cold.
Did she get her scores yet?
Well, you can't tell yet. I mean, it's done differently this year, so they don't know. She's killing in the in-person voting, but the mailed-in ballots are more the other girl. But that's what they expected.
Oh yeah.
So you can't really tell.
Yeah. Yep.
But she's killing her at the polls.
Well, that's good though. Okay, how we doing here? We bounced back down to 12. Okay. How come nobody's on with me? I mean, Archie has to practically drag people on with him, too. Although when I come on, he has to be on for 30 seconds and he wants to kick me. North Carolina now exactly line ball, but trending to Trump. Yep, that's what's going to happen, Lance. Biden had the early advantage with all the liberal votes that were sent in by mail. But as the in-person votes get counted, Trump's going to be catching up and passing them. In a lot of states, too. Maricopa County, Arizona. Well, I need to get more in there for Trump. Why is there so much Arizona not voting for Trump? What's the matter with you people out there? Ayod Meskin, sound is back. What'd you fix on your end? Harry Ball Substitute. Oh, what creative names we have here. We're in an hour and 8 minutes in, 14 people viewing. Oh, let me flip the channel here and see what else I can find for numbers. Oh, come on. Fox Business Live. North Carolina, Trump is winning, but not by much. 88% in. But hey, winning is winning. Doesn't matter if it's an inch or a mile. Trump is up by about 28,000 votes, but that's enough. 90% in. They just updated it. So Trump is going to pull out a win in North Carolina. Yep. 15 electoral votes there. Lance Link. Looking at Arizona live data, the numbers are in the urban areas that will change. Here's one of my things I like to do. Take the back of the battery cover off the remote and then snap it shut. Pop it off, snap it shut. And you got to do it in multiples of 4. Trump wins Kansas, Louisiana, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Carolina, South Dakota, West Virginia. Counting Fox Business is counting Biden at 129 and Trump at 109. And of course, Trump is catching up in a lot of states. Trump will gain momentum in about an hour. I believe you're right. Yeah. They've been out here with me ever since I started. And of course, Bowie's been going off every now and again, too. I played the xylophone for everybody. They got to hear the xylophone entertainment songs. You don't have that in the Archie Luxury Show. The Trump-leaning areas aren't in yet for Arizona. Well, I certainly hope not. Let me change channel here. What do we got here? The Clinton News Network. How are we doing? Florida. Trump is winning. Oh, they just... Let me back it up here a little bit. Okay. Pause. Oh, stop it. 94% in Florida. Trump is winning 51-47. Yeah. Is that 94%? Yeah, looks like it. So Trump is going to win Florida. How about that, Ayad Meskin? I'm looking at actual county level data, not listening to mainstream media. Well, I don't have access to county level data. I'm sure it's out there. I just haven't bothered to look for it. And they haven't changed their electoral vote count numbers for a while now. But Trump is up nearly 400,000 votes in Florida with 94% counted. So there ain't no way Biden's going to win Florida. You heard it here first, before the major news media, at the LoudMouthTim live stream. Trump wins Florida. 29 votes right there. Ba-bam! Okay, what's going on here? I paused it. The Dems are trying to figure out how to rob Trump of Florida. The longer that goes on, the more worried I'll become that. And Texas has you concerned. What's the numbers in Texas? I haven't seen anything about Texas for a while.
Yes, we are. Watch on that one. Right in the 10 o'clock hour, which is this is where presidential politics.
Hey, Lance Link, can you review Texas and see how we're doing over there for Trump?
Big states as well, and they're counting more votes here too. That's why I hope we get later into the night. This is why it matters more. And so let's just look at it again. Again, this is one Trump wanted to flip. Joe Biden wants to flip Arizona. Donald Trump wanted to flip Minnesota.
Arizona.
We look at it right now. So we don't see that yet. We'll watch it. We'll continue to watch it. Just want to keep checking in on these. Again, if you're in the Trump campaign headquarters, you're looking at...
Once again, I'm going to post the link. And once again, probably no one's going to click it. Clive, where are you? Why aren't you on here with us?
Slower count. So we're going to see this play out. 30% of the vote in Wisconsin.
Michigan. Trump 55%. With 43% reporting.
In Philadelphia, 70,000 votes in Philadelphia, which means nothing. Which means we're just...
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
They're just not even starting to count Philadelphia yet.
So then let's look at where we do have a lot of votes, right? This is real business now. You get to play 72%.
Boy, look at Ohio. A few blue counties and all the rest of the state's red. What happened here? Did I bump it up? Oh, yeah. Texas is up 3 points for Trump with 80% counted. Thank you for the research, Lance Ling. And we'll go for Trump. Yep. I'd be very disappointed if Texas, of all states, didn't vote for Trump. Especially after Biden told them how he would wreck the oil industry and take away their subsidies. Ohio will go for Biden? Nah, I don't think it will. I don't think it will. Got a bunch of liberals in Columbus and Cleveland that voted early, but I think Trump won Ohio by 9% 4 years ago. And Ohio will be directly affected by the oil industry in Pennsylvania. So I don't think Biden's going to win Ohio. We got 14 people on. We only briefly touched our all-time high of 17. And I got to say, I'm very disappointed we only have 14 on. But thank you, 14, for being on. Ohio, Trump up 4 points with 78% counted. It will go for Trump. I think it will. Trump takes lead in Ohio. Let me try a couple other channels. Commercials. Commercials. I hate commercials. 3 channels in a row and they're all commercials. Oh, yeah. Oh, New Mexico. Mexico votes for Biden? What kind of a bunch of idiots we got in New Mexico? Well, they're only half in, 49% in. Ayod Meskin, yeah, they're most densely populated areas.
Is one of the states that the Trump campaign was most concerned about. From their coalition, it was a state that when Bill Stepien took over from the
I just post a link.
I remember his name right now.
Illegals and Indians. Yeah. I wonder how many dead people voted by mail and how many illegals have voted by mail. That's what Trump's going to have to do in the lawsuits, is to, even if Trump wins, I would still like to see him push the lawsuits to audit each and every mail-in vote that was cast in the entire country and find out how many should not have been even put in because they're dead people or illegals or whatever.
I'd say this is also the state that the very sort of humble and low-key and expectation managing Biden.
The Netherlands, Holland votes for Biden.
Had their sights on probably for similar reasons as well as the reasons that Rachel keeps talking about, that very competitive Democratic race. Martha McSally's polls have her down today 3 or 4 points, and I think Trump felt that she was sort of pulled to a dead heat there. But this is one that people are keeping an eye on, especially as states like Florida slip out of reach. Most Democrats view that as gone. I
got to put that in a remote. What channel am I watching? Oh, MSNBC. Let's try a few other ones. Commercials. 105. Oh, we don't get 105. Let me tell you what I hate about my cable channel here. You look on the guide channel and it tells you what's on every channel. And then you want to see something that's on a channel, and then you go to that channel and it says, oh, you're not subscribed. Well, you know what they ought to do? They ought to not even show those channels in the listing if you don't get those channels. Virginia, Trump up 8% with 54 counted. Yeah, Virginia went to Clinton last time. And if Virginia goes to Trump this time, well, that's 13 extra votes for him. I'm confident Trump will win. What I'm just not sure about is by how much. Will it be 280 votes or will it be 400? We'll see. Barbies.
So we have a long way to go. Maps can be deceptive when you have a big chunk of vote out.
Okay, I'm going to put it back on MSNBC. Wake County, North Carolina. Well, they're clearly idiots in Wake County because they're voting for Biden.
The same day vote, and that's true overall statewide. The same day vote is very lopsidedly going to Trump right now. However, in Wake County, of the same day vote that's been tabulated so far, 60% of it's going to Biden, 37% of it's going to Trump. So there is a giant pool of votes there in Wake County. It just came down a little bit, so you see that added to Biden's total. There is a giant pool of votes.
Okay, once again,
for instance, where Joe Biden does figure to actually
I'm going to put up the link so anyone can join the chat if they want to. Why is no one joining my chat with me?
And the other places where you have really substantial outstanding votes, for instance, Greensboro, where again,
I mean, I can carry it better than Archie can if it's just one person on. But it would still be nice to have someone come and join me here for a little bit. Hey, Odd Meskin, why don't you come on here and tell us why Biden's going to win? Hard to show up in person dead. What's that mean? Oh, let me think I bumped it down. Oh, okay. Hard to show up in person dead. What does that mean? I'm doing it like Archie does with his super chats. I can't have super chats because I don't have enough subscribers. Trump up 5.6% in Pennsylvania with 27% counted. Lance Link, how is Trump doing in Pittsburgh and Philadelphia? Just those counties. They'll be counted first. They're major, well, the two major cities in the state. All the rest is driving through the hills and forests to get somewhere else. Yeah, Archie is a begging idiot. Well, you wrote that. I mean, I can't. Oh, what's this? Oh, that's a Senate. I can't ask for money because I don't have enough subscribers to monetize. And even if I could, I don't do this because I need money out of it. But, as I said a long time ago, just achieving monetization was always my goal. Say, hey, I got enough on YouTube to get monetized. Well, I've got 200 of the 1,000 subscribers I need and a little over a quarter of the watch hours. Yeah. You don't ever hear me asking for... You've never heard me ask for money on here because that's not, my goal. If I get it, great, but I'm not depending on it. Thanks, Lance Link. You've been very helpful so far with your county-by-county stats. Arizona. Oh, I thought okay about Mark Kelly getting into the Senate, but he's a Democrat. And say, Democrat? No. We can't waste a seat on a Democrat. We got to have Republicans everywhere. Miss McSally better hurry up and get her votes up. Okay. Ayod Meskin. What's it say there? Well, they're a West Coast as well. Their polls may not even be closed yet. You were with the government and cannot legally join. Okay. Phil Ortman, we need Cinnabons. Never had a Cinnabon. Archie was good about 3 years ago, yeah. Philly going 80-20 to Biden and Pittsburgh about the same. I think it was Philadelphia County. If I remember correctly, it was something like 548,000 for Clinton and a little over 100,000 for Trump in 2016. So unless Biden has a huge lead between Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, there's no way he'll have enough votes to win. If it's a lot closer to 50-50 after Philadelphia and Pittsburgh are counted, then there's no way Biden's going to keep it when all the rural counties in Pennsylvania get counted in, and then that'll take hours. I figure I'll be on until about midnight or so. I'm not going to be up until 1, 2 in the morning. I have to get up. I have to. What? Oh, you better not. No, you better not. House projection that the Democrats will still have the House? No, that's no good. That's all we need is to have Pelosi in for 4 more years. Got to get her out. Louisiana, projected winner, Donald Trump. Kansas, Donald Trump. I'm watching MSNBC. If you want to be like Tim from LoudMouthTim.com, watch MSNBC. I'm not saying they're the best. I'm just saying that's the channel I have on. mainly because a lot of the YouTube videos I saw and enjoyed over the last 4 years came from MSNBC about how Clinton lost. Trump will win Pennsylvania based on the current data. Archie borrows his watches from stores. Jazzy, Alabama for Trump. Yeah, I certainly hope so. Oklahoma, Alabama. Okay, I need a timeout here for a few minutes. I'll put the camera on the floor with the birdies, who will probably leave when I leave. So, yeah, I'll put the camera facing the TV, I guess. I'll be back in a few minutes.
With how the presidential race went, there wasn't a single state in the 2016 presidential election that went for a candidate of one party in the presidential race and a candidate of the other party in the Senate race. That's how closely these things have aligned. It's very interesting to see these numbers in North Carolina tonight. You know, Tillis running a little bit ahead of Trump. In fact, Tillis in the polling had been running behind Trump. That had been one of the themes we talked about, and we talked about the potential for a disconnect, a divergence between these two races because of the gap we're seeing. But now, you know, with about 90% in, there's Trump leading by 40,000 statewide, a little less than a point. There's Tillis leading by about 60,000 statewide, a little more than a point. There's a little difference between them, but not much, and also not in the direction the polls before this election were suggesting.
Steve, I got one more for you. We have another call, and this is another New England state, and that is New Hampshire, and it's for electoral votes awarded to Joe Biden. We believe when all the votes are counted, differentiated by about 22,000 votes right now. Let's take a look at the map and see where this leaves us as we look nationally. Again, two different trends of blue, southwest, northeast, red from the Mississippi Valley to the Atlantic seaboard, all the way up through the middle plains. Rachel?
I will just note that while we are not looking at a lot of flips here in terms of the various states on the map, don't sleep on that New Hampshire result. That was a Hillary Clinton state in 2016, but it was a Hillary Clinton state, I believe, by 0.37% of the vote. Trump got very, very close to beating Clinton in New Hampshire in 2016. So to see Biden now the projected winner in New Hampshire, again, that's not a flip, but it is a sigh of relief for Democrats who saw how close Trump was able to get there. Again, one of the states we are watching very, very closely, Nicole Wallace might be watching, you might say intently, is the state of Wisconsin, where it is too early to call at this point. We are watching closely, particularly alongside Michigan and Pennsylvania, these other crucial states. As you see right now, just over a third of the vote in Wisconsin, very close between them. And we're expecting 3.6 million votes. And we've got about 1.2 million reported thus far, so a long way to go in terms of Wisconsin and the eyes of the nation upon Wisconsin. Once again, our friend Charlie Sykes is in Wisconsin for us tonight, watching these results and helping us make sense of them. Charlie, when you look at what we've seen thus far out of Wisconsin, what do you think?
Well, first of all, everybody take a deep breath. This election is not going to be decided by the SEC. It's going to be decided by the Big Ten. And we haven't gotten all the results here yet. So I'm looking at the Wisconsin numbers, and if there are 3.6 million votes, that is very bad news for Donald Trump, because he won here 4 years ago by getting fewer votes than Mitt Romney got against Barack Obama when he lost by 7 points. And so far, I'm looking at some of the numbers. He's underperforming what he did 4 years ago in crucial Waukesha County. I live in Ozaukee County, which is one of the Milwaukee suburbs. Donald Trump is winning by only 8 percentage points. So he is certainly not adding to his margins in crucial Republican areas. And as you look at those numbers, remember this: we won't get the final numbers from heavily Democratic Milwaukee County until 5 a.m. tomorrow. And that is going to be the decisive number. So I think that looking at this right now, looking at the demographics that we're seeing in Ohio, you're seeing some very, very good news in the upper Midwest. I mean, I know that we're disappointed about Florida, but this feels a lot like 2018. Look at what the margins are, how they're shifting. How they're shifting among independents, what's happening in the suburbs. You're seeing that in Ohio. My guess is you're going to see that in Pennsylvania. And you're already seeing that in Wisconsin right now.
Charlie, let me ask you about one other Wisconsin dynamic, which has loomed so large over the past 4 years. I feel like it has overshadowed our ability to think rationally about Wisconsin. And that is that when Trump won in 2016, and as you said, he won by less than a point, he had never led in a single poll in Wisconsin, not a single public poll, not one. And then he went ahead and won the state. Is Wisconsin polling, which shows Biden broadly ahead, heading into tonight's results, is Wisconsin polling any better in 2020 than it was in 2016?
Well, I think so. The Marquette University Law Poll, which is considered the gold standard, has Trump up by, Biden up by, I think, 4 or 5 points. It's going to be close. It's going to be single digits. But I think that they have adjusted to the mistakes that they made 4 years ago. But the key thing in Wisconsin right now is the question of, will voters in, say, Milwaukee County, will African-American voters turn out in Wisconsin? Because famously, 4 years ago,
Good news, I'm back. I got Topepo chips, potato chips, sour cream and onion.
Milwaukee County, she would have won the state because Trump won by only about 23,000 votes. Now, the other big variable is whether there's...
Oh, my wife said her mom got these paintings back around 2011.
From northern and western Rim.
I'll post the link again. There's Beaker. How you doing there, Beaky Bird? And there's Bowie. I can zoom in back in. I just realized it's past their bird bedtime. Bird bedtime is 10 o'clock. But since we have a special occasion of Trump's re-election, we'll let him stay up a little later. Come on and join me on the live stream chat, people. Okay, I'm going to leave this thing watching the TV for a few more minutes here. I'm going to have me some potato chips. Oh, what's this?
This is not a flip or a surprise, but we have awarded the state of Utah and its 6 electoral votes to the Trump column. We'll convert over to the national colorized map and see that this extends past Colorado now.
98-92. Trump's starting to catch up with Biden here in the early libtard Democrat votes.
In Utah in 2016, of course, we had that unusual dynamic with Evan McMullen taking 20+% of the vote in Utah, which made it such an unusual state.
Uh-oh. My laptop batteries are getting down. I'm at 40% battery.
People are feeling about, the results tonight. And I think a lot of it was skewed by Florida. I think you're absolutely right. It feels like 2018 again.
It's potato chip time.
On African American turnout, because that was indeed the difference for, why Hillary Clinton didn't do as well there as she could have and lost the state. What is that looking like? What is the state of any sort of disenfranchisement activity? We know that is a thing that happens a lot in Wisconsin. How open, how accessible has the vote been, and how much turnout have you seen?
Well, we won't know until we get the final results tomorrow morning. But I'm not hearing a lot of complaints about it right now, mainly because Democrats really, over the last 4 years, have really gotten their act together again. Remember that Supreme Court election that we had during the coronavirus, where people had to stand in line during the height of it? And there was a rather surprising result in that election. And I think that's the model that's been used here. So, I'm old enough to remember when Republicans absolutely dominated
North Carolina, Trump winning by 0.8%, 89% in.
But again, the numbers you're seeing out of Wisconsin do not represent all of Milwaukee County, and frankly, that's going to be where the African American vote is concentrated. Milwaukee County, Racine County, and Kenosha County, and I would be very surprised if you did not see a substantial increase from 4 years ago. And if Donald Trump cannot add to his margins outstate, and if he is losing votes in the crucial Milwaukee suburbs, places like Waukesha County, then I think it's going to be very difficult for him to win the state of Wisconsin.
Charlie, because it's Donald Trump, we know where he's ailing politically.
I'm still here with you. I'm just munching some potato chips here for a few minutes.
Have you seen anything come in Ohio or anywhere else that signals to you the kind of result in some of those counties?
Oh, absolutely. And also in North Carolina. Now, whether or not Joe Biden wins in Ohio or North Carolina,
Pennsylvania, Trump with 53%, with 20-something% of the votes counted. I forget now. I just missed it.
Places like Michigan and Wisconsin,
Rhode Island, Trump is winning.
The margins in Pennsylvania and Michigan and Wisconsin are like this, right? So, if in fact, look, if you're looking at Ohio, Trump won by 8
Michigan, 34% in, Trump is winning.
1 point this time. If you see that kind of shift,
Ohio, Trump winning by 5%.
In Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, Donald Trump is going to be in a lot of trouble. It's because the reality is that here in Wisconsin, we're not that much different than Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Michigan demographically.
Well, I guess that's what they're worried about, right? If you see Ohio go in one direction. But I guess one other question I have is the kind of Republicans, like the Paul Ryan Republican, are the kind of Republicans that can hold their own in a Wisconsin nice kind of state. I mean, just talk about kind of differently. That Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania slice of it is terrain that the Trump campaign saw as slightly more hostile to the Trump trajectory.
I'm here.
The Trump 2020 persona is not as winning in their own view as Trump 2016.
Well, think about it, that Wisconsin has one of the highest.
Isn't it amazing?
College-educated.
Even now, when the polls are closed, the votes are in. There ain't no changing the votes now. The media is still doing all they can to talk Biden into the White House. Because you never hear about how Biden's doing. It's like, well, Trump is leading for now, but it could get worse. Well, Trump is temporarily up, but we've only covered 89% of the state. So Biden could still pull out a victory. You never hear it the other way around. It's always, well, Trump is going to lose. Trump might win. Trump temporarily has a lead. Come on, people. Someone come on the stream with me. Or even some people type in the chat there. Give me an update on the chat here. It's been 5 minutes. Is that all it's been? 5 minutes. Wow. 9 people with me on the stream. I really hope I'd have a whole lot more people on the stream with me, like 50, 70 people. Gotta remember where the camera's pointing. How we doing there, Lance Link? What's the latest update from somewhere? Alumni quad. No states have been called for Kanye. You got all these celebrities who say, well, if Trump wins, I'm going to Canada. And say, hey, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Goodbye. We won't miss you. Please move to Canada. And Canada will be like, we don't want him here. Arkansas. Well, that's a Senate winner. No one cares about them. What's out there, Beaker? Give me some room here. Like a birdie's run all over. Impossible. Alumni Quad, why don't you come on with me? Click the link. It's 2 things above your thing. What would Archie do if no one came on the chat channel with him? I don't mind. Oh, look at that. There we go. 98 for Biden, 102 for Trump. Trump's going to take off and leave him now. I'm actually disappointed that Biden even has 98. Barbie. Ah, right on my ear peeker. The most Republican cockatiels you ever saw in your life. Three words: personal hygiene issues. Oh, is that why you don't want to come on? Okay, well, yeah, probably a good idea then. Are the birdies getting tired? I think they're getting tired. Their normal bedtime is 10 o'clock. It's 10:40, and they're still up. Mississippi, 25% in. Trump with 58%. Missouri, projected winner Donald Trump with 49% of the vote. Lancelink, Trump up 1 point in North Carolina, but with 93% counted, he will win it. Yep, just math. That's right. Even if all the rest of the votes were for Biden, he couldn't make it up. What are you guys doing? You guys are flying like a couple of birds. 11 people on with me. I am going to go in my room and get my AC adapter and plug in my laptop here because the battery's starting to get down. What are we at here? 35% battery. Okay, be right back. Here, look at the birds in the meantime. Although they'll probably come fly off with me here once I take off. Birdies. Yep, as soon as I moved, they moved. Oh, birds. Got birds flying all over in here. Now, is this quality entertainment or what, huh? What would you be doing if you weren't here doing this? West Virginia, 77% in. Projected winner, Donald Trump. South Carolina, 55% in. Projected winner, Donald Trump. Huh, how ironic. The Rachel Maddow show said, watch what they do, not what they say. Oh. Illinois to Biden.
Joe Biden, the projected winner of Illinois, and it's 20 electoral votes, and Senator Dick Durbin is going to remain in the U.S. Senate as well from the state of Illinois.
I am disappointed in Illinois.
Steve Kornacki, can you bring us up to speed on North Carolina and Arizona, please? Let's take a look here, a couple of different places. So again, in North Carolina now, the Trump advantage has moved up over 50,000 votes.
Oh, North Carolina, 93% in, Trump up by 1.1%.
Basically, the vote is in there now. Trump's going to end up over 60%. Again, getting big same-day numbers. We saw that number lagging earlier overall for Trump. His percentage in this county, he ends up over 60%. Gets a lot of votes out of there. And so you see statewide, that helps him move up. Now you see close to 60,000 votes statewide. Where is the remaining vote in North Carolina? Still a lot in Wake County, where Rockland is, Greensboro, Winston-Salem. There's still some to come in Charlotte. There are still a small amount of scattering in smaller Republican-friendly areas of the state as well. All told, what you're looking at here is just over 400,000 votes statewide remain to be counted here. 82,000 of them are in Wake County. You can see another 50,000 of them are in Guilford County, where Greensboro is. So there are opportunities here for Biden to cut into it. But again, I think the other thing that comes into play here is just the possibility there will be other ballots that come in the mail in North Carolina after Election Day, trying to figure out how many that might be, what that could do to the margin here. So let's see where the margin ends up.
Change the channel.
Tabulated, and that becomes the question in North.
You know, Scott, you touched on it, but and I don't want to, prematurely put a stamp on this.
Florida, 91% in. Trump winning 51.3 to 47.8. So Trump has Florida. At this point, Trump almost could not lose Florida. North Carolina, 92% in. Trump 50% to Biden 48.8.
Biden was kind of just playing it safe, largely in Wilmington, not really branching out. He said maybe because
Ohio, 88% in. Biden 45.8%. Trump 52.8%. So Trump is up by 7 points in Ohio, with 88% of the vote in. Right now, this channel, Fox Business, is counting Biden at 133 electoral votes, Trump at 115. Trump is winning the popular vote by a little over 2 million votes.
I don't want to prejudge it, but if you think that hurt him or could have hurt him in maybe states that are real battles.
12 people on with me. Thanks for being on, 12 people. Where's the other 50? I don't know how. Archie has a regular viewership of around 200 people. I'm doing good to get a dozen. And I made it a point to advertise on his show, so 200 people knew about it. That dozen showed up. Thank you, dozen, for being here. What are you doing? Oh, birds. Flying over my foot like that.
He had these massive rallies. Now, they may have been super spreader events, but I think it helped get his rural vote out. And he needed to offset Biden popularity.
Sing a song with me. Trump gonna win, Biden gonna lose. 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 Missouri winner, Donald Trump. This CNN shows Biden with 118, Trump with 105. And Trump will be catching up here pretty quick like. Hey, Lance Link, how's Trump doing in Texas? What percentage of Texas has been counted? California. Oh, yeah, those all go to Biden. Bunch of liberals out there.
Let's start off in Michigan right now, 38% of the estimated vote. In Michigan, Trump still maintains his 240,000 vote lead over Biden, 54.7% to 43.4%. Lots of votes outstanding, though, in Michigan. In Pennsylvania, 37% estimated vote is in. Trump has 344,000 vote lead over Biden, 55.9% to 42.7%. In Wisconsin, 40% of the estimated vote is in. Trump has a narrow lead, 21,000 vote lead over Biden, 49.9% to 48.4%. In Georgia, 59% of the estimated vote is in. Trump seems to have a pretty comfortable 372,000 vote lead over Biden, 55.4% to 43.4%. Let's take a look at some more states. We're getting some more key race alerts in Arizona right now. 75% of the vote is in, and Biden has a 208,000 vote lead over Trump in Arizona, 53.7% to 45%. In Minnesota, 38% of the vote is in. Biden seems to have a pretty comfortable 290, almost 291,000 vote lead over Trump.
Alumni quad. Richard A.G. Maxwell was definitely a liberal. He was a pot-smoking, drug-using hippie liberal.
41.8%. Let's walk over, as we like to do, John King at the Magic Wall. We're watching these states.
Look at this guy, Wolf Blitzer. What kind of a name is that? Wolf Blitzer. Is that on his birth certificate?
Looking at different places. It's early, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. But just trying to get deep in to study a little bit. That's what I do when I get a little chance. Just study, go into some states and take a look around and study. So where are we right now? If you look right here, so you got Illinois. You're adding, as I said, it's a reliably Democratic state, has been for a long time. But when you're doing your building blocks, you like the big ones, right? So you like to take those out. New York, Illinois, in the Joe Biden's column gets them up to 118. The president's at 105. But just in the idea of just you think about the bigs, right? We're not here. We have not called these states. But I just want to say, early on in the night, the Democrats are thinking, can we get Florida? Can we get Texas? Well, those are the two bigs and two normally reliably red bigs. We've not called these states. I'm just walking through. The president leads there right now. The president leads there right now. So that you just see what happens when you win the big ones. You see how quickly the math changes. So that's what's important for the perspective. And if the president holds that one as well, that gets you up. If the president holds North Carolina, you start moving up, right? The bigger states, the double digits, if you will, big double digits here, 30 plus, 20 plus, 15, you move it, then you're just moving up the math when you do the big ones. So that's what they're looking at in the Trump campaign right now. If we hold Texas, and they think they will, we hold Florida, they think they will. We're not done. That's just what they think. North Carolina, they pulled ahead. It's close. We have to count them still. Same with Ohio. We're still counting votes. But as you see that happen, you see the election day surge pull you ahead, you think it's going to continue. It's not guaranteed. But that's what they think. And you know what? You wouldn't get a lot of pushback in the Biden campaign. They're still hoping the votes come back. But as you start looking at the map, now you start thinking, okay, this is a more traditional map, which again gets us back to where we began or where we ended.
Texas, Trump up 4 points. Thank you, Lance Link. With 83% counted.
Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. This is where this night now looks like. A lot of us thought this would come down to this, and it certainly looks like it's going to again. Again, we're not done. You see Joe Biden with I think I'm going to glance over my shoulder. Yeah, still leading a little bit in Iowa. You see him lead in Montana. We don't expect these to hold up, but we'll see. Right? You get surprised sometimes. But so right now on the map, you're looking at this would be the only flip right now. That's the only flip we see for Joe Biden to get him up. But it's easier to do it more quickly if you switch over here to the president's map. And so the flip we think so far, we're not done, is this. We believe so far the president's holding down here, which gets you back again. Arizona would get Joe Biden, plus the Clinton states. Arizona gets Joe Biden to 243. Well, then how do you get to 270, right? We get one here, if you carry name, but then you need more. So if that gets you to 244, let's just say for the sake of argument, you get one of these. We're still waiting on two of those districts there. Let's just say
I need more potato chips.
Right, so then you're looking here at 245. So what do you need? Right, do the math. You need 25. That would get you knocking on the door because that's 20. Right, this is the state of all these three states in the blue wall. That's what the Trump campaign was confident about. That would be enough. Michigan and Wisconsin would get Joe Biden to 271 if he got these two congressional districts plus Arizona. Math gets interesting if the president can hold. Bring it out here. Sorry, now I got to fill them all in. That's okay. Just fill them all in and come back. President does that. Do you think one congressional district could decide an American presidential election? Doesn't happen that often, but it is possible. This is where again, if the possibilities, the menu at the beginning of the night, maybe we get Florida. In a dream world, we get Texas. Maybe Ohio's competitive. You think we can get North Carolina? At the moment, none of that is there. We're not done. It's possible it comes back. At the moment, none of that is there. So now your numbers crunchers are getting into the tougher math, more difficult math, and the different scenarios. And trust me, they're calling into that congressional district, they're calling into that congressional district, and they're calling in a fury into these, because now we're into tense time in both campaigns.
And in those 3 states, those so-called blue wall states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, there's still plenty of outstanding votes.
Plenty of votes. And again, we're going to say this repeatedly, and some people at home might not like that we say it repeatedly.
A lot of the early vote is outstanding too, where Democrats will do well.
It is, which is why, as I come back over here, as you're watching the map throughout the night, in any election, again, we are 10:55. In any presidential election that's close, we're just getting started. We are just getting started. That would be the case 4 years ago, 2004, pick your close election. That's the case. This year's even more different because of the 3 different ways of voting and the different ways each state is handling that, right? The mail-in vote, the in-person early vote. And so here you go. We're going to look at it. 40% in. You see that big lead for Donald Trump. If you're a Republican, you have every reason to be happy about that, but you also need to have the context. You have to have the context. Come down here. This is Montgomery County, one of the big suburbs around Philadelphia, 29%. You go into Philadelphia, which is the biggest basket of votes, predominantly Democratic. Turnout here is absolutely key. We'll see if Democrats can deliver, but you're only 20% of the vote roughly there. Move up here, Bucks County. This is a more competitive suburban area, but you're still at 12% of the vote. Move out here, Chester County. This is where most of the votes are in Pennsylvania. Philadelphia and the suburbs that surround it, 30%. You just have a long way to go. And we know, David Chalian told us earlier, a lot of the votes that are missing are the early votes, which we believe are disproportionately Democrat. And even if we were just counting for one set of votes, even if we were just waiting for all the votes counted today, what we have from this part of the state is so low that you just can't make conclusions. You just can't. You have to wait and see. And it looks good still. It looks at first glance to Republicans, but we're just nowhere near the finish line. Nor are we in Michigan. 39% of the estimate, 54 to 43. You think that's a big number? If you remember how close this was 4 years ago, 10,000 votes, right? 10,000 votes decided this state 4 years ago. So it is just unrealistic. Even if the president's having a very good night, it's unrealistic that he's going to win Michigan by 238,000 votes. If he wins Michigan again, maybe it's by more than 10,000 votes, but it's not going to be by 238.
Anyone have anything to say in the chat here?
Number, that's when you know.
Tippy type away there.
Anomaly of 2020.
10 people viewing.
Let's take a look at Arizona.
Let's go out west, because this would be, so far, this would be the flip. This would be a change. We're up to 75%.
I'm going to repost the link in the futile hope that someone will join me.
54% to 45%. If you go back, not since Bill Clinton as a Democrat won this state, and in 2016, not a huge win by any means. This is why the Democrats wanted to compete this year. Arizona is trending demographically.
I don't know how
this year,
Archie has such a steady viewer base and I don't. After all this time, like a year and a half of trying to build this up.
Joe Biden already has that, and we're still counting votes there. Again, turnout up across America in this election. That looks good. That doesn't mean we're done. We have to count them. Let's just look at Maricopa County, 77%. If this holds up, if the trend lines hold up, this is where 60% plus of your votes are. If you keep a 10-point margin in Maricopa County with high turnout like this, you're going to win the state of Arizona. But we're not done yet as we do it. But as we go through the race to 270, and you're Joe Biden, Donald Trump had 306 last time. You need to take away. It's simple. Just do the subtraction. And where do you get them? Arizona would be a start, an important start. It's protection, if you will. It's a safety blanket, but that's it. That's the name of the game. It was 4 years ago, and it sure looks like it's about to be for the rest of tonight and into tomorrow. That's the guess. That's the guess, Wolf, as you go through it. So just come back out again. I just want to look at this one again because
Wolf Blitzer.
Emails for Republicans and Democrats. Whoa, what's happening in Virginia? Again, 153,000 votes ahead, 52 to 46. That's actually.
Let's go back to MSNBC.
I think is a big part of the future of the Democratic Party in the South.
And can I tell you that, sometimes I think when we look at
oh, they're talking about Senate races. Hey guys,
what are you doing? There's also party building that happens when somebody runs a really good election. And I think you have to look at the
alumni quad
in these southern states, including Texas, where
I don't know.
A lot of credit for the.
We'll have to wait and see who wins. See how butthurt the liberals are when Trump wins Pennsylvania.
Stronger because of Jamie Harrison, and they'll be able to build.
And don't forget, a lot of the writing was manufactured by BLM and Antifa and so forth. Just like the way they set all the big forest fires. I've seen video of drones flying over the forests, dropping burning liquid. So a lot of it is, purely manufactured for their own purposes and not what people would actually do on their own. Election alert, what's this?
Some of the numbers start to add up as we get late in the night. However frustrating this night is for many of our viewers. Coming up here,
okay, the polls have closed in California, Idaho, Oregon, and Washington.
Awards 55 electoral votes, as is our projection.
Oh, that's a big surprise. California went to Biden. And Oregon.
To Joe Biden. Washington.
And Washington.
Electoral votes to Joe Biden. Idaho. Too early to call.
Oh, a whole 4 votes in Idaho. Ooh.
To 270. It's 192, 114 at this hour.
Okay, Biden, you're all out of your easy states. You're done getting your votes in now, boy. I'm actually surprised. Well, I'm disappointed, but not surprised that all these libtard states even voted for Biden.
Too close to call. Texas, too early to call. Trump leads.
The Trump's winning by 4% in Texas. Oh, but it's too early to call. Trump's winning by 15% in Pennsylvania. Trump's winning by 7% in Ohio. Trump's winning by 11% in Michigan. But oh, it's too early to call. Yeah. Denial ain't just a river in Egypt.
Wisconsin, too early to call. Minnesota.
Yeah, all these states too early to call. That's where Trump's winning.
Iowa, too early.
And Minnesota, you're all a bunch of idiots out there.
Too early to call. What are the odds? Let's look at the map. We've been watching the color-coded states get awarded all night. To think that 6 o'clock Eastern time, 5 hours ago when we started this, it was a blank gray slate. Low they have filled in. Low, there's a lot of math to go.
Oh, yeah.
Steve Kornacki, what interests you that's been popping up on your map in the time it took me to read that?
Quite a bit, Brian. Let's focus here. How about Pennsylvania? Because we've talked about, look, this is going to take some time because some of the counties taking a while with the mail-in ballots, but there are some counties in Pennsylvania that have counted everything.
Wow.
Giving us a complete look, and I do think this is worth keeping in mind as Pennsylvania perhaps looms larger and larger in the hours ahead. One of the reasons Donald Trump was able to flip Pennsylvania in 2016 was he ran up extraordinary margins in rural parts of the state, in western Pennsylvania, places Republicans have usually done well, but he did incredibly well in these places. And one of the questions was, would he be doing that again tonight? We are getting some full returns here. We've got just about all here's a county we've got just about everything in. Trump's running at 72-27. He's actually exceeding right now his 2016 number. This is small, but again, we've talked about this in places like Georgia tonight. Small counties with enormous margins do add up. We have next door. Here's a place where Trump hit 73% in 2016. Tiny, but he's hitting 73% today. I've seen this in all sorts of small counties in western Pennsylvania. That seems to be where we are getting most of the full reports out of Pennsylvania so far. Trump is in those small rural counties hitting, in some cases exceeding that 2016 number. That is only part of the story in Pennsylvania. I flag it because we're getting the full results from those counties. We are not getting the full results from places like Pittsburgh, from places like Philadelphia, from places like the Philadelphia.
There's the bird, fellow
Democratic hopes,
riser.
Especially in Philadelphia, that's where you're going to have a lot of lag, I think, with the mail-in voting. But I do think that's a piece of it to keep an eye on in Pennsylvania, because we've been seeing that in some other states tonight. If the electoral college battle does come down to Pennsylvania, worth keeping that in mind. Every time we can get one of these counties up to 100%, we're going to measure it up against 2016 and tell you if we're seeing strength or weakness for one candidate.
In terms of Pennsylvania right now, we've been talking all night about how these 3 states, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan,
Pennsylvania, going to go to Trump. Ohio, North Carolina, Texas, Florida, so forth and so on.
going to hinge, and we don't have answers. Tonight, I mean, psychologically, what happens, and what does that do to the momentum and the...
Well, it becomes Bill Barr as the president's lawyer at the Justice Department representing the president. He's made clear that whether it's a libel case or whether it's a ballot...
You love cockatiels, fellow Roger. Yes, they're nice birds. They're good friends.
Versus the gentleman
You guys are good birds, huh, birdies?
And I think that we shouldn't get ahead of the story. But we have, I mean, the state officials have prepared their constituents, and I think the Biden campaign has prepared their supporters for a scenario where this doesn't end tonight. You have to think that if both campaigns were seeing the same things in their tracking polls, if both campaigns were talking about these 3 states, that there's not a ton of surprise inside the Biden campaign that it may come.
Alumni Quad, fun fact, yes.
Fundraising endeavors that both the Trump side and the Biden campaign have been involved in. As of late, they were about a post.
Senate races right now are down to 42 and 42. That's too close. I want to see a lot more Republicans in the Senate. And the House is at 15 seats, Democrat advantage. I got to knock that down some too. These Democrats are determined to destroy the country. We got to get them out. And I'm hoping this is something Trump has planned, but he couldn't say anything until after the election. Term limits. House and Senate get term limits. So they can't have 40, 30-year people in the House and Senate. 2 terms and out. We need that. The Trump president has it. How come they don't have it? Get rid of these career politicians.
That is not what we're getting tonight. What we're getting is that people are going to stick to their party lines for the most part. There's some conversion. But, as you said...
17 people on. Hey! Oh, fun and nasty vinyl. Timbo. Maga, maga, maga. Yes, well, I live in Pennsylvania. Nasty vinyl. So it's... They got a lot of libtards around here, but there's a lot of Republicans too. I live in a Republican state being held back by Democrats. Jazzy. Oh, can you imagine the screaming from Nancy Pelosi about term limits? Oh, no, we can't have term limits. We need experienced people in here. Yeah. Experienced in getting all their under-the-table money. How did we go from 17 people on to 12 in about 2 minutes?
Allow Donald Trump to just walk in there and do what Scott Walker and his friends would have done. It's not the same Wisconsin. It's not the same Pennsylvania.
Timmy, what did I do in the Army? No more than I had to, that's for sure. At the time, I was ground surveillance systems operator, radar, night vision, remote sensor systems for military intelligence battalions.
State Elections Commission chief says Wisconsin will probably not report unofficial
results. I was far from a super trooper or any kind of G.I. Joe. I've thought about making a series of videos about my time in the Army. Some of the things that used to annoy me. Some of the soldiers who were more dependent on their leaders and could think less for themselves. They get all hyped up, that who thing they would do. They go who. I'd be like, yeah, whatever, whoop-de-doo. Because I was, even way back then in my pre-LoudMouthTim years, I was still a little bit thin there, and like, all right, yeah, I don't need to go to show my motivation. Didn't help me in the Army, but whatever, I had my own principles. How we doing? Come on. I know it's going to be going on for hours yet, but Green Beret material right here, yeah? Not me, no. Ever since I went for my vacation, what was it? Back in June, I drove down to the Army base I was at. My road trip down south video that was about 22 minutes long, I think it was. Looking back in my videos, I went to that Fort Polk, Louisiana Army base I was at. Some parts of it had changed quite a bit. Some parts had not. But ever since then, I was thinking about, what if I wasn't going to stay in because I was not the type. But what if I had? Where would I be now? I'd be retired and out, almost certainly. Not so loudmouth Tim. What's that mean? I'm missing context from Siege's posting. We're still at 12 people on the channel. Take the mask off. Get this reporter on with her mask on. Jeez, oh man. Take the mask off. Let me flip the channel here and see what else I can find. 117. We'll go to Fox Business. Florida, Trump winning 51-47. Oh, Trump wins Florida. Ha 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 ha.
As we've said. Okay, let's see if we can talk to someone. Come on in. Come on in. All right. What are you thinking right now?
Trump wins Florida. Told ya. And by a bigger margin than 4 years ago.
All right, thank you very much.
Biden 207, Trump 148. It's starting to roll.
What do you say, Mr. President?
The American people are so great. I just want to thank them all for all their hard work. They're fantastic people.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
What an idiot.
An exclusive on Fox Business. We got the president.
Trump wins Florida. Nasty vinyl. Trump got Florida. Hello, Burbies.
Whatever works. If there's a guy you want in a party, you want Ashley Webster there in Florida. The president picking up the 29 electoral votes of the Sunshine State. A couple of things we're waiting on. Looking at all of this, Professor, I'm thinking so much we don't know, so much that has to come together. The president obviously wants to cobble together something with Ohio, Michigan.
Well, California, that's going to go to Biden. They already call it for Biden. A bunch of liberals out there.
I'll ask you what I was asking before.
Biden lost Florida.
We have a result without Pennsylvania tonight.
Yeah, Pennsylvania, I think, brings us into tomorrow. It's just too important. The president's path to victory goes through Pennsylvania. There's no way to avoid it. It doesn't look like they're in a hurry to get all the votes counted by tonight for sure. They can't do that in some cases. So, yeah, Pennsylvania tomorrow or the next day, which means nothing gets resolved tonight, except you see if the path is still preserved. That's the key. Is his core artery still preserved for victory? And right now, all the states are lining up to make that possible.
All right. By the way, and this was my fault earlier when I said that Doug Jones had lost in Alabama. I was jumping the gun a little bit before our Fox folks, and they get very mad at me when I do that. But I was basing it on got comments from the National Republican Senatorial Committee that had already congratulated Mr. Tuberville.
Oh, it's Birdie bedtime.
University football coach Tommy Tuberville, who did indeed win.
Birdie bedtime.
There's a Republican pickup, which reverses what.
Bye, birdies.
After Colorado Senator Cory Gardner.
Oh.
So again,
hey, we're up to 14 people on. Democrats 44, Republicans 42 in the Senate. Quit screwing around. We need a Republican majority in the Senate.
For Democrats to take control of that body of government. The White House still open. Maybe we'll see. The House is not right now. The House stays under Democratic control. I believe they.
Oh well. I hope I don't lose too many viewers because the birdies have been put to bed. Did it just turn the volume down? No. Well, I have the volume. I've been putting the volume up and down as things go on here. Nasty vinyl. Hunter. All the Cubans not wanting a communist to run the country. 14 people watching. Thank you, 14 people. Bring 50 more in. Trump wins Florida.
The sheer volume of votes makes it a little different. Jackie DeAngelis has been following this very, very closely, and a couple of scenarios that could still play out tonight. Jackie, what do you have?
Absolutely. Hi, Neil. Well, it's starting to get interesting as we have a little more information. Now you've got Florida in the red. I'm in my what-if map here. So I've made some assumptions just to start. For example, I gave President Trump Montana. I gave him Alaska. I gave Joe Biden the 6 electoral votes in Nevada, New Mexico, and Hawaii as well. So let's say our canvas of our what-if scenario looks just like this. Well, it can actually get really interesting. What if President Trump gets Texas? You know, Biden made some comments about the energy industry that could have turned off voters. That could be a possibility. If he gets Georgia, all of a sudden we're at 208. He's catching up to Joe Biden. North Carolina, he felt very strong there. The campaign did today. Ohio, he's showing some preference there at this point. Let's also talk about the rest of the Rust Belt, like Michigan, like Wisconsin. If he got Iowa, all of a sudden he's at 273. And look, he's done it without Pennsylvania. So those votes wouldn't necessarily come into question that we've been talking about counting the rest of the ballots over the course of the next few days, Neil.
That's very interesting. I was wondering about that, and you know, you just did the math for me. Thank you very, very much.
Translation: Trump is going to win.
Some sort of closer tonight without a Pennsylvania that was still out there.
Ayad Meskin, you haven't been on for a while. Tell me how Biden's going to win.
Georgia, he wins them all. He's over the top there. But again, too soon to tell. But it is an interesting development. Lee Carter joins us right now. Looking at
Time to flip the channel again. What are we going to here? The Clinton News Network. What are they talking about?
Move over here to Montgomery County. 4 years ago, this is Joe Biden right now at 110. 4 years ago, 250.
15 people on. Hey, 15 people. Who wants to come on the channel with me here? Share me some screen time. Give me someone to talk to. The birdies all went to bed. So I'm out here by myself. Me and a bag of potato chips. Let me post the link again. Again, I might add. Come on, people. Hit that link button. Join me on here. Why isn't Clivers on here? He knew I was doing this. Ow. Oh, boy.
What we have is a beginning, but we're so early in this race right now. So early in this race. And you see it red, and you see what looks like a 12-point lead for the President of the United States.
I look too fat. You think I look too fat? I do.
The United States has a 12-point lead, but there are more.
I need to lose another 100 pounds. I'd look good if I lost 100 pounds. Be around 2 1/4. Pennsylvania, Trump 55% to Biden's 43%. Ah.
President Trump will win the state of Mississippi, beats Biden in Mississippi, wins 6 electoral votes.
Mississippi to Trump.
Look at the electoral college map right now. So with that, Biden still has 192 electoral college votes. Trump now has 114 electoral college votes. 270, the number.
Oh, hello. What's this?
Right now in Minnesota, let's start. 46% of the vote is in, almost half. Biden has a 264,000 vote lead over Trump, 57.3% to 40% in Minnesota, 10 electoral votes there. In Iowa right now, 59% of the estimated vote is in.
Clivers is out voting for Hillary.
40,000 over Trump, 50.9% to 47.3%, 6 electoral votes in Iowa right now. Let's go back to John King as we're watching this. So the count continues, 192. We're watching this race between Trump and Biden, 192 to 114.
Right, 192 to 114. And again, right now, there's nothing on this map that tells it's a flip. Nothing on the map that would be a wow. And yet we do know, let's go back. I just want to go back to the Trump map. It's just to take us where we are in the sense that we have nothing yet that we flip. But we do believe at least Joe Biden is leading there. That's a potential, right? So you keep looking at this map. That will get Donald Trump from his 2016 map down to 295. So then you go from there. I think we're in a world right now, Wolf, where I'm just going to take these away, right? Because we're in such an early state in all of them, we just take these away. And so if nothing else changed, right, if the president holds Florida, we haven't called that yet, it's close, but he's ahead. If the The president holds North Carolina, same deal. We haven't called it yet. The president's ahead. The president holds Ohio. Iowa, let me pull out here and look at the map. I just want to take a peek. Iowa is still blue, but I just want to go over and take a look at it here. 59%. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. That would be interesting if that one switched. But at the moment, we'll just leave it here until we know otherwise. We'll leave it here. So here's where you get. Again, we have the congressional district here and the congressional district here that could change the math a little bit. But if you take these off the board, and if Joe Biden can't win Ohio, we haven't called it yet. We have to wait. We're waiting on votes and everything like. You're just
Biden ain't gonna win Ohio.
What happens if we're waiting on these states because they're having normal delays plus additional delays counting their votes? We could get to a point in a few hours when we start to fill in some of the ones that are left. We're somewhere in this ballpark, and we're fighting it out over these states.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing to watch. Everybody's got to be patient, though.
Well, isn't it amazing how the liberal media, it just never ends. They're always trying to say, well, Biden's going to win, but Trump might. They try to steer it to the liberal no matter what the case is. We can win the House. We need to win the House, fellow riser. We need to win the House. We need to win the Senate. And we need to have the White House, too. Because you put liberals in anything, all they're going to do is get in the way and mess things up. You liberals, I don't know what you're thinking. You're trying to be everyone's friend. You're trying to be nice. Oh, let's let all the illegal Mexicans in. Oh, let's make everything legal, you know. Oh, no borders. Let China, run our country again for us. Well, we've tried it your way, and it clearly doesn't work, liberals. Trump's getting things done. 15 people on with me. Thank you, 15 people, for being here. My link is in the chat up a little bit there. I'll repost it for the people who just joined, because you may not be seeing it. Come on with me, people. Give me someone to talk to for a little bit. Clicky the linky. Oh, Allegheny County. Really? That bad? Wow. Boy, you liberals. You liberals really annoy me. You know that? Well, what is that? 11 or 17% reporting? Well, they are so far off in Pennsylvania from even getting an accurate number. It's going to take hours. Probably after 2 o'clock in the morning at least, before they can even make a decent guess on Pennsylvania. Lindsey Graham is in. Is he a Republican? I forget. Mitch McConnell is in. He's still in. But we got to have a Republican majority and everything. Get these Democrats out of the way of trying to destroy the country. Lance Link. Just checked Iowa. Yeah. Iowa. What's Iowa? 6 votes? Pretty weak. I'll take it. 6 votes is 6 votes.
Basically, it looks like those 3 states are going to decide who's going to be the next president of the United States.
Unless we get a dramatic shift, yes. I mean, we sort of knew that coming in. The Democrats did believe, and the poll said they had an opportunity. Opportunity is not winning.
Next polls close in 35 minutes. What is that? Alaska and Hawaii? They don't have a lot of points. a lot of votes to them. 14 people on them at 2 hours and 25 minutes in this cast. 15 people on. Let's break that record of 17. 17 is the all-time high. Florida 2020. Trump 51%, Biden 47%. Was 11:24 p.m. Okay, I need a potato chip break, so I'm going to point this thing towards the TV here for a few minutes. Let's go back to MSNBC. Oh, man. Ah, it's commercials. I'll put on something else. I hate commercials. Who is this idiot? Commercials.
2020 coverage. A live look at where we stand right now in the presidential race. Many states have yet to be called. Let's take a look at that right now. And that is Biden with a big lead there over President Trump. Let's bring in our senior Washington correspondent, Blair Miller. Now, Blair, you've been talking with the campaigns. When you look at the states, what's been the biggest difference maker you think so far tonight? Well, David, I think you're seeing it, firsthand. They're focused right now in the Midwest.
Fellow Riser. Let me get you the link.
Doing pretty well early on, and that has gotten very close with the president now leading Ohio. Down south, the same thing for North Carolina. Biden was doing well early on in cities like Charlotte and Raleigh. And when I was talking with the Trump campaign about North Carolina specifically, they had said they had to do very well in rural areas. They told us that strong voter turnout. It's not clear yet if they've gotten it exactly how they wanted it. And Blair, before even tonight, the campaigns were working on laying the groundwork in case this is a close race. Yeah, President Trump told reporters he plans to send in the legal teams to fight the ballots counted after election day in those battleground states.
Sorry, you weren't saying, what's that link for Tim? You were saying, what's that link for, Tim? That is so you can join me here on the chat channel, if you have a camera and a microphone, and be on with me on the screen.
And you're live at the White House right there. We'll have more live decision 2020 right after this.
Get savings and 3 years 0% at the Montgomery County with grand reopening sale. A reading from the Golden Oak Monday Focus Markets window.
Untapped property value that can help you build an oasis in your home. Seriously? Right now?
We speak mortgage, and our local loan officers will guide you through every step. Come see what we can do for you.
With my hepatitis C, I felt I couldn't be at my best for my family. And in only 8 weeks with Maverick, I was cured. I
hate commercials.
4 seats to pick up in order to flip the Senate, and Democrats have 42 seats. Republicans have 42 seats, and we'll set 16 seats remain to be called tonight. Well,
so important what's happening in the Senate. All right, thanks very much, Dan. Let's get a key race alert right now. Let's see where things stand. Let's start off the battleground state of Pennsylvania. 46% of the vote is in. Trump has a 436,000 vote lead over Biden, 56% to 42%. In Wisconsin, more than half of the vote is at 53%. Trump has an 81,000 vote lead over Biden. It's relatively close, 51.3% to 47%. In Michigan right now, 44% of the vote is in. Trump still has a lead of about 274,000 votes over Biden, 54.5% to 43.6%. Let's go back to Jake. I think these 3 states potentially could hold the key to who's going to be the next president.
That's right. We're all looking at the blue wall. It was a blue wall until 2016 when Donald Trump smashed it. Now, of course, Joe Biden hoping to rebuild it. So let's check in with our correspondents who are in those 3 states. Let's start with Miguel Marquez, who is in Detroit, Michigan, where we're told that turnout is higher than it has ever been. Miguel, what can you tell us about the votes that are outstanding? We are waiting to hear how Michigan voted this election season.
We know a couple of things. We know that the vote in Detroit, the biggest sort of Democratic stronghold, they are expecting between 53 and 55% of voters to turn out in this election. That doesn't sound like a very high turnout, but when you consider that Donald
I'm
Trump
still here.
won Michigan
I'm just working on finish something up my potato chips.
back in 2016, that could be a critical difference. Also, across
Bag's almost empty.
they're expecting a record turnout across the entire state. It is not clear how that will affect the vote count for either candidate. We also know they are still counting. This is a receiving board where the Detroit Lions play, Ford Field, where they are going to receive votes, day of votes all day long. Those absentee ballots, they are still being counted as well. The city of Detroit getting through a huge tranche of those. We should be seeing some of those votes coming in very soon as well. So votes being counted in Michigan in the hours ahead. We expect to see much more votes come in. And rather than taking 3 days for the votes to be finalized here, or at least an unofficial result, they believe in the next 24 hours or so, we will have an unofficial result of who will win Michigan.
All right, Miguel Marquez in Michigan, thank you so much. Let us turn a little bit east to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, where we find Sarah Murray. Sarah, there are millions of votes.
Take your mask off, stupid.
Early in Pennsylvania. The vote right now in Pennsylvania has Donald Trump 1.8 million, Joe Biden 1.4 million, but there's still more than half the ballots waiting to be counted. What can you tell us?
Yeah, I think, Jacob, there is a lot of outstanding vote here in the Keystone State, and this is not going to be a process that moves particularly fast. That's what election officials have been warning us about. We know there are a lot of these big counties, Philadelphia County, Bucks County, Chester County. They are going to be counting all night long, and these are not places that have really experienced any issues. They're not having any problems. It just takes a while. And the Secretary of State just wrapped up a press conference here today. Essentially, we need to stay patient. We also need to be prepared for these vote totals to kind of come through overnight in fits and starts, right? They've been reporting day of totals, then they've been going through, opening more ballots, removing those from the inner envelope, putting it through the scanner, and then uploading bunches at a time. So just as you pointed out, this is going to come in fits and starts throughout the night. We may know by tomorrow morning a little bit something more. It may take a while. You know, the Secretary of State was saying these counties are working as fast as they can and as hard as they can. We know, like I said, a lot of these places are working overnight. It is just going to take a while, and it is the first time that Pennsylvania has had mail-in ballots in this capacity in ever.
Trump up now 1 point in Iowa.
All right, Sarah Murray in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Let's go to Bill Weir.
I'll be back in just a minute here. I have to go in the kitchen for a minute.
Madison. Bill, tell us about turnout in Wisconsin. We're waiting to hear who the Badger State picked to be their president.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a record turnout like most of the rest of the country, Jake, but it's still very early. In fact, some of the election officials in Milwaukee say they won't have their final numbers in until 5 a.m. And that, of course, will be is expected to be a huge blue boost for President or Vice President Biden when those numbers come in. Just looking at the WOW counties around Milwaukee, Waukesha, Ozaukee, Washington County, a little bit better than they were 4 years ago for the Democrats. Trump is still leading in those. He won Fond du Lac County a little bit better than he did 4 years ago. But I've been texting with the head of the Milwaukee Democrats, who said he thinks feels like stronger than expected in the Milwaukee suburbs for them, even though Trump is winning those right now. Possibly softer turnout in Milwaukee, they think. Blowout in Madison, likely a red mirage, blue shift kind of night. They think they're shaving those margins around Milwaukee, that they aren't as wide as they were for Hillary Clinton. But as right behind me, we're waiting as all of the wards here in Madison expect to deliver all their ballots here to the election supervisor here. So it's going to be a long night in America's Dairyland, Jake.
All right, Bill Weir, thank you so much. We'll check in with you in a little bit, and let's talk about this. I do feel like we've been saying for a long time that anything could happen. This is a very competitive race, and B, that it's really going to come down to these 3 states, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan, and C, that we're not going to probably know who won those states because of all the early vote the night of election night, and all that is happening, and yet it still feels like people out there didn't hear us when we were telling them that in the last previous week.
Well, I think people hear what they want to hear or need to hear at any
Good news, I'm back.
Given how tense the country is. I'll add one state to what you just said, which is Arizona, which
What are we
also
doing?
could be a tipping
Yes.
state
depending on how it goes, given what we're seeing so far. The thing to keep in mind is, and some of our reporters mentioned this, is that what we're
Arizona, what is your problem?
is not including the early vote. And the early vote
Not my fault your state's out in the middle of nowhere in a desert.
Because they encourage their voters to go vote early. And so that is the missing piece.
Are we bringing in?
Not yet.
Oh.
No, this is not yet. First of all, I am in the seat.
I'm not in the traffic. I'm not in the traffic position here, Brian. I will turn this phone right around.
I was just following orders.
I am going.
Sorry. Steve Kornacki, I would like to talk to you about Pennsylvania no matter what anybody else wants to talk about.
Now, how much do we have in statewide, and what's going on with the crazy disparities between the counties in terms of what they are reporting?
Yeah, and there are a fair number of counties, as I was saying a few
Yes,
minutes ago.
fellow riser, Arizona is a traitor and a disappointment.
It's Trump country, where you got basically all the vote that's reported out so far. Where your missing vote is Philadelphia. First of all, let me show you that 33% in, core Democratic. What is left here is over 500,000 ballots in Philadelphia. Now, again, Philadelphia, what they are trying to do there tonight is, you see, they report out the same-day vote, the votes that were cast today in Philadelphia. That's part of the reporting. That's coming in.
Yeah, they pay illegals to vote. And if Trump does it right, he'll get his lawsuits going and run every single early ballot. And the ones that can't prove we're Americans, those ballots get kicked out.
Mail-in ballots that, tomorrow, maybe into Thursday, that are going to be reported out. But again, more than 500,000 when all is said and done. They're not done for the night right now, but there's going to be a lot left to be done when the night is over.
In 2016, what was the margin in Philadelphia County? Do we have that easily accessible?
83 to 15.
Okay, all right.
So again, you've got, this is very relative here. You've got Trump's best ballots in Philadelphia. That's why Biden's sitting, I think, at 77% right now. You've got the same day ballots in Philadelphia. And again, this is this thing. The votes that were cast today are the high water mark for Trump for the types of votes that are cast. So he's probably losing the same day, but he's probably not losing it by anywhere near the margin he's going to lose the early votes by. So you've got a ton. As I say, you've got 500,000 more to come in Philadelphia there, and these suburban counties right outside of it, like a Montgomery County, 350,000 to come. What you're actually looking at here, they processed some of their mail-in ballots. There are some counties, as I said, in Pennsylvania that actually are processing large numbers of mail-in ballots and getting them out. Montgomery's gotten quite a few out. We got same-day vote to come there. Chester County, we've got a mix. We've got some mail, we've got some same-day, and you got 168,000 to come. So there are a lot of votes to come here in this Philadelphia area. You're talking about just these counties right here plus Philadelphia. You're talking like a third of the state right there. So that's really, I think, throwing off a lot of the numbers you see statewide. The other thing I can draw your attention to here, though, is we say some counties are complete. Here's one that is. This is Scranton. Joe Biden has made Scranton such a central part of his campaign. What's happening in Scranton, Lackawanna County? Biden wins it. 53.6, Trump 45.2, 8-point margin. So what does that represent for Democrats? Well, that's an improvement from 4 years ago. Hillary Clinton won this only by 3. Biden's getting it by 8 right now. But that's also not what Democrats had been expecting before 2016 in Scranton and in Lackawanna County. Obama won this by 27 points in 2012. Again, this is one of those places that moved dramatically in Trump's direction in 2016. Biden made a little step here tonight back toward what Democrats used to get, but not a huge one. But again, in Pennsylvania, the margin was less than 1 point statewide, in 2016. So any improvement Democrats can pick up in these counties, and if they can get more support, more turnout in those suburban areas, to get that 0.7 point change, that's what they're looking for here to win Pennsylvania. That might help them, but obviously come a long way since 2012 in our politics.
Can I ask you about Armstrong County in Pennsylvania? I've been hearing that there may be some sort of interesting results out of Armstrong.
Let me see what
Armstrong County, that's a rural county.
Well, Yeah, interesting is one word. We've had a couple of issues. I'm not going to put it up because we've had a couple issues tonight in Pennsylvania with counties reporting out numbers that I think we were on Lehigh earlier. We were looking at the Lehigh Valley earlier, and there was something very wrong there. And I want to check on that number before I show it. I suspect the same thing just happened.
Thank you for your foresight.
Well, I wanted to see if Steve could do the same thing about Michigan that he was doing in Pennsylvania, because I know it's still early.
Okay, we're at 2 hours and 40 minutes in a live stream. I think I'm going to stop the live stream at midnight at the 3-hour mark. So if anybody wants to come on with me, do it now.
What types of ballots have actually been cast and counted so far in this? So if you're looking,
Because I have to get up at 5:40 in the morning to go to work, to the job, to make the money.
A bit of a mix here in Oakland County. This is a big suburban county just outside of Detroit. This is Biden basically hitting the number that Hillary Clinton hit in 2016. I think this is, as I say, this looks like a pretty decent mix of the two types, and that's what happens. You get a result that makes sense. But in a lot of these counties right now, you're basically getting the same day vote. So, if you were to take a look, Saginaw is another good example. Here, this is a perfect example, actually. This is all same day vote. And here's Donald Trump at 60%. Again, this was dead even in 2016. Here's Donald Trump running at 60% right now. So it's very uneven.
Courtney, what's going on in Virginia?
Yeah, exactly. We're finding out in Fairfax, Virginia, it is slow going.
What's up in Virginia?
Results there. In fact, we're finding out that they will have their roughly 400,000 absentee ballots results in the next couple of hours, likely before 1 a.m. But so far, only around 28% is reported there in Fairfax County in Virginia, and a very small portion of that is Democratic. So we have that going on there. And then you look over in Georgia. It is slow going, John. If you go over to Georgia and some of these counties there, you have Gwinnett County only 29% in. DeKalb, we have only 24% in. And then Fulton has also been slow going. They were delayed because of a pipe that burst earlier. And so they still have 48,000 absentee ballots to go through. They have 2 weeks to process these ballots, but it is slow going there in Georgia. And then we also know, of course, John, in Pennsylvania, more than 1 million outstanding absentee ballots for officials to go through in the Democratic areas there of Pennsylvania. I'm talking about Philadelphia. I'm talking about the suburbs of Philadelphia and Allegheny. And that's not counting these 9 counties, the smaller counties that are waiting until tomorrow to start counting those absentee ballots. So as this picture comes together, what's happening, we really are in suspense there in Pennsylvania.
That's a lot. It's, again, you just look at the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, big state, 20 electoral votes, 2 million to 1.5 million, and you think that's a lot of votes. Just go back in time to Pam's point about how many votes still need to be counted. 2.9, and we expect higher turnout this time. As Pam mentioned, the 9 counties, at least 6 of those, I think, maybe all 9, but at least 6 or 7 won by Trump. They've just decided they knew they were going to be overwhelmed today. They're not going to count those votes until tomorrow. So you look at that there. I want to pop back to what Pam said.
Whiskey, yes, Pennsylvania will go to Trump.
You're thinking all of the opportunities we thought we had might be slipping
Get better.
States that we could flip, like Florida, like North Carolina.
13 people on. Thank you for sticking with me, 13 people.
And just see what are we looking at, right? So let's come back out first. You look at statewide, a 211,141 vote lead. So you come into the highest population center and you say, okay, well, they're missing a lot of ballots. They're not missing, but they haven't counted a lot of ballots here. So you look at Fulton County.
12 people on now. Michigan, probably. I mean, you would think so anyhow.
Supposed to be a more high turnout election.
Yeah, mail-in ballots are going to be a pain. They're going to hold things up.
I mentioned Gwinnett County, come over here. You see 174,000 for Biden now. You go back 176. So he's ahead of Hillary Clinton already there. There's still some votes to be counted. The question you're asking, this is the reason I'm going through this, is it at all possible? When you look at the Donald Trump lead right now, when you go through these areas and you move over here, we have that. We come here again, 81,000 votes. There's a lot of votes to be done here. 81,000 is where Joe Biden is now. You go back in time, 251,000. So you are looking at giant chunks of votes in those counties. You come back out, you see the president's lead is 211,000. When you have that many votes missing from DeKalb, Gwinnett, and Fulton, there's no reason at all for Democrats to give up. There's votes to be counted. The question is, can you win? As those votes are counted, what's your margin?
Is Biden on suicide watch? Biden doesn't even know what's going on.
Democrat, you're disappointed, but when you do the math and figure out what's out there, This is why patience is going to be so important. And again, it's the very same situation. Pam mentioned more than 1 million.
Michigan whiskey. I don't know about Michigan. They better vote for Trump.
2020. They're just nowhere near the same numbers, right? You just saw the 2016 numbers. And so patience is what's required here. And again, we heard the president repeatedly at the end of the campaign saying we should be able to count the votes on election night. You know, that's it. I'm done. It's just not the way it works, which is why Sarah Murray in the report.
They're going to have to tell Biden that he lost because his mind is so scrambled he's not even keeping track himself.
Election officials in these states where you have the slow count. We just got the Fairfax information in Pennsylvania.
They prop him up in front of the microphone and tell him, read the thing on the sign.
Because this is where in this age of social media and everything else, this is where things start to fly around. The important thing is stay with the sources you trust, be patient. We're going to count them. We have eyes on them. It's all fine.
No rush. We'll take it easy. We'll do it right. We have a key race alert. Some of the contests we haven't paid that much attention to. But take a look at this in Maine right now. 37% of the estimated vote is in. Joe Biden has an 18,000 vote lead over Donald Trump. 51.3% to 45.5%.
Oh, 37% in. Ooh.
District in Maine with one electoral vote. 33% of the vote is in. Trump is slightly ahead, 8,841 votes, 50.6% to 45%. Only a third of the vote is in Maine, the second congressional district. In Montana right now, Biden is ahead but it's close. By about
20% of the vote in Montana.
49.2% to 48.1%. 20% of the vote in Montana is in. So we're watching those contests as well.
And so, again, very rarely does it happen, but every now and then, those one matter. You mentioned the Maine second congressional district. Democrats all along have thought that Maine was a state that they were going to win and win quite comfortably. As you can see,
okay, let's change channel.
Northern part of the state. Donald Trump carried this congressional district for you.
So these election results are boring me most of the time. 94% in Ohio. Trump winning 53% to 45%. So Trump is going to win Ohio. Oh, it was just called for Trump too. Okay, great. So yeah, there's just about no way Trump could lose Ohio at this point. So Trump's got Florida. Trump's got Ohio. He'll be getting North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin probably. Then Trump wins.
Takes Ohio away from Biden. This is pretty important given the fact that he's sitting there.
Ho-de-de-de, Ohio. Ho-de-de-de, Ohio. Remember that Neil Young song? Ho-de-de-de, Ohio. Ho-de-de-de, Ohio.
It was very important that the president win Ohio to forestall his Biden's advancement toward that 270. So it's going to be, exactly what we all both thought and feared would be the case. This is going to be very, very close. But the president, defying all odds, defying all of the pollsters and all of the propaganda emanating from his opponents, of course, he has a favorable path to that 270.
He does indeed. Brian Bremberg, I wasn't meaning to interrupt you there.
That means Trump's going to win. They just don't want to say it because they're all liberals in the media.
What's interesting, Brian, I see this every time something ticks, promising for the president. We see the futures move up, and we've got it, where as soon as we had the Ohio call, that has now ticked us up a little bit. When we had the Arizona call for Joe Biden, it ticked down a little bit. Now there are a variety of scenarios that say
whiskey. No, I'm not going to be a candidate for Trump.
How these markets are performing and how these candidates are, seesawing.
Yeah, it's hard to ignore the relationship we've seen between the president's prospects and futures markets. I think the Senate races also matter a lot.
Absolutely.
Boy, the markets want to see divided government right now because you don't know what's going to happen to the presidency. But if Republicans keep an edge in the Senate, that means a lot of the most extreme policies have a very hard time getting through. Can I also say the Ohio numbers coming in here really evidence the economy story coming through? Ohio is going to either be about COVID or the economy. And the fact that the president won by as much as he did there really tells
me Sleepy Joe wins, Obama's back in office.
The upper Midwest is playing very
well, essentially, probably.
In a big way in Pennsylvania.
I'll be telling them what to do.
And it could matter in Minnesota as well as rural counties in Minnesota come through. So I think we've got to pay attention. Ohio's kind of a bellwether, I think, for how those states shape up.
And Brian Brentberg, not only a world famous economist, but also one of Minnesota's proudest sons. So
Wisconsin, 71% in. Trump winning, 51% to 46.
So how is Minnesota going to shake out, Brian?
Well, look, I mean, I've been saying it for a long time now, and the fact is I'm relying on the folks on the ground there, the neighbors I have, talking to them about, are you answering the polls? Are you reporting what you're doing or not? And the answer emphatically is no. I'm not telling anybody I don't know where I'm going to vote. But the fact is, outstate voters in Minnesota, the rural counties, love the president's take on China. They love the fact that he's emphasizing mining, manufacturing. Again, that's the heritage of that state. And so I think those counties are going to come through with those districts are going to come
Oh, tired. I've been going to bed at 10 o'clock every night for the last few nights. Now it's almost midnight.
Up in northern Minnesota, on the stuff for, on the campaign trail for Trump, he said never in a million years would I have predicted those guys would have been out there for Trump, and they are, and that says something.
Million years, maybe.
Maybe in a million. His words. I'm just quoting. I got to be accurate here.
Yeah, I got you. Jillian, one thing that's interesting, and the professor got touched.
Conversation is the editor of the Nevada Independent, my friend John Ralston, who knows more about Nevada politics than anybody alive who is not a currently serving Nevada politician.
Well, MSNBC has old numbers on.
John, what's going on in Nevada this evening? We are wondering where your vote is.
Well, would you like some numbers, Rachel? Is that what you're looking for?
Yes, please.
I can give you 7. Now you're saying, what is 7? What is Ralston? I thought he's supposed to be the expert on this stuff. Let me tell you what 7 is. 7 is the number of polling locations in Clark County, which is Las Vegas, the biggest part of the state. They are still open. There are lines outside of them. The polls were supposed to close at 7, Rachel, but the Republicans filed a lawsuit in this upside down year to try to keep polls open in the Democratic county because they have done better in early voting while the Democrats have crushed them in the mail. As soon as those polling lines are done, they are going to start releasing results, probably mostly from rural Nevada. So let me caution everybody, Rachel, the first numbers you may get are going to be overwhelmingly in favor of Donald Trump, but probably not a large number of votes coming from the 15 relatively small rural counties.
Now, John, I have been reading at the Nevada Independent, I have been reading your prediction columns and your coverage of the early vote every single day. Like every minute that you post something, I'm right there. And I know that you said overall that it's your perception that Democrats built up.
Does anyone have any questions for me? If so, type them in the chat there. Got about 7 minutes left here before I cut it off at 3 hours.
Thank you for all the Rachel clicks on the Nevada.
Okay, this guy's boring me. I gotta change channels. Boring. Change channel. Boring. What is this? I hate commercials. Oh man, they're still talking about Arizona microanalysis.
Not happened tonight, so that has changed the math dramatically.
Oh.
Of the 38 electoral votes there, the president's now 200.
Oh, Trump wins Texas. Trump wins Texas. Biden's all out of states that are going to vote for him.
I'm sorry, I was misreading that there. And the situation there.
What do I do for work? I do computer work. Computer maintenance. IT support. To put it in vague terms. 295 to 243 for Trump. Good night, Lance Link. Thanks for your assistance with the county numbers there. I got about 5 minutes left of my stream here. 10 people on the chat, the stream, whatever you want to call it. Texas, 52% Trump, 46.6% Biden, with 78% of the vote in. Yay. See ya, Lance Link. Thanks for being on the chat channel with us and providing county numbers. Biden 223, Trump 204. Trump's catching up and about to pass Biden and win the White House again. Biden's all out of states to fall back on. He's got a few left, like little states like Nevada and Maine or whatever it is. I don't even know. Trump has won Texas, Florida, Ohio, and more to come. It would be nice if Trump won the popular vote too, because for 4 years all we've heard about is Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, but Trump got to be president. Well, if Trump won the popular vote, even by a little bit, that would shut them up pretty quick, and then it'd be like, oh, Trump cheated with the mail-in votes to get enough for the popular votes. These Democrats, they are just a real burden for all of us we got to put up with. I don't know what they think they're doing or how they think their way is better, but it is not. Democrats are as big of a problem for us as places like China and North Korea.
megaphone.
3 minutes left in the chat. If anyone has anything they want to say or whatever, type it now. I'll post the link one more time. Fellow Riser Pence will be the next president in 2024. There's the chat link one more time in case anyone who's been here for 3 hours and hasn't clicked the link already wants to click it now. I've got about 2.5 minutes left until I cut it off at 3 hours. Although if someone comes on, maybe I'll stay on longer. Yay. Oh boy, midnight, man. I want to stay up later and watch all this, but I gotta go to bed too. Well, you know, actually I can't even get much sleep at work tomorrow because I gotta do a couple of jobs that have to be done tomorrow, and I'll take a couple hours at least. Georgia, 76% in. Trump is winning by 8%. So Trump is going to win Georgia. Good night to all, and to all a good night. Good night, Alumni Quad. Fellow Riser, you're staying up all night, huh? I would like to stay up at least until 2 or so, but I know even by 2 o'clock, Pennsylvania is not going to have its number in by 2 o'clock. Biden's winning the popular vote by 1.1%. And although it's not the end of the world, it is a pain to give the Democrats anything to cry about. So Trump needs to win the popular vote by at least a little bit just to shut them up, or at least give them less that they can talk about. AOC needs to get voted out, but in libtard New York, oh, they love stupid, so they'll love her. What a complete failure she was. Made a big deal. Well, I went to Boston University, and what were you? A bartender? Ooh, what a stunning success you were. Oh, boy, what do we got here? What's this? North Carolina. Trump winning by 1.4%. Trump's going to win Georgia. Georgia. Michigan. Trump winning by 11%. But that's only half the vote is in. All right. People, we're at 3 hours in a live stream. Thanks for being here with me. We got a whopping 9 people on right now. But it's midnight. I'm tired. I got to get to bed at some point. I'll probably get up in the middle of the night and look at my computer and see what's happening. How are you supposed to get any sleep when you're waiting on this? But all the votes are in. It is what it is. The numbers are there. They just have to be counted and published. So what's done is done. What is this here? Fellow riser, Tim, I need life advice. Should I join the Army or go to college? I'm in my early 20s. Well, that depends what you want to go to college for. If you want to go to college for something like archaeology or ancient Roman studies, or what do they call it? Like social services, humanities, then I would say don't waste your money on that. If you're going to go and get some kind of a job that's like a skilled occupation, like a plumber, electrician, machinist, engineer, then yeah, go to college or a trade school for that. If you got nothing you really want to do, like you don't know what you're doing, a couple of years in the Army is not a bad idea. Gives you time to think about it, and maybe you might like that too. Plus, you get to be a veteran when you get out for the rest of your life. Free health care. Maybe not the greatest health care, but at least it's free. So that's a tough call. It depends what you want to do and what's your ultimate plan for the next, for the rest of your life, or what kind of careers you think you might want to do. All right, we're at 3 hours and 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So I'm going to cut off the stream now. I got to get to bed at some point. Thanks, everybody, for being here with me for this 3 hours of watching Biden lose and Trump win. So we'll see you later on. An alumni quad. Biden's going to lose. Was it alumni? No. Arkin, whatever his name is, I forget, but the one who's been saying, the one who's from Europe, the one who's been saying Trump's going to lose. No, Biden's going to lose. All right, there we go. Ending broadcast. See you next time. Okay, thanks, fellow riser. Finance or law? Well, in that case, I would definitely go to college. More towards finance. The world has enough lawyers already. Go into finance. Get a good financial education. Go for high-end stuff there. Don't go to college for 4 years and become a bank teller. All right. We'll see you later on. Hitting end broadcast once and twice. Here we go. Bye-bye.